What's poppin', gamers? See, I'm sticking to a schedule, you see? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know, fucking insane. I don't, honestly, I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day, ever. A day that I actually stick to a schedule. Granted, this is only day 2, so don't get your hopes. That being said, depending on the situation, I may or may not stream tomorrow. I might be busy literally the whole day. Might not. Still unsure. Still unsure. But I think we've kind of dallied long. Nah, we haven't dallied long enough. Not just yet, you know. If there isn't 5 minutes of fluff at the beginning of each stream, then, you know, I'm not doing something right? Dude, this game has been living fucking rent-free in my head, basically. Like, all of yesterday, even though I was, like, doing other shit, like, I was on Brem's stream, J-vibing, you know, playing some Lethal Company, then some Minecraft. A little bit of Overwatch, too, which, another game I never thought I'd ever touch again, among League. But yet here we are, suffering, crying, dying. All very sad. But yeah. Dude, I've just been envisioning the map of this game in my head, and I'm like, where haven't we explored? Like, because we only like know the location of 2 additional not 2 additional. We only know the location of 2 of the people we need to talk to get their parts of the Northern Gate, like, spell word. So we have like 3 or 4 more, right? Now we know that we don't have, or not that we don't have to, that we can't go and talk to. We can't go and talk to the god in the ziggurat, because I already forgot what his name is. It was Gob or something. Like, Glubbo. Yeah, Glubbo. Not actually. I just entirely forgot. But he got all pissy because we killed a guardsman who would kill us. Oh God. What could have happened? Oh my God. But adjusting my heater here. It's a bit hot. But yeah. So that, hold on. Let me just, this is a reminder to myself to handle the audio mixing right now before it becomes an issue again. Because the last stream, I reviewed it last night. Again, this game's been living entirely rent-free in my brain to the point where I'll watch my own streams. Very sad, actually. But the way I see it is, it's the best way to avoid spoilers. You know, even though this game's been out for like a decade now, it's the best way to avoid spoilers. It might have been out for more than a decade, actually. Anyway, point is, wait, there's probably a better way to mix this, because I can't even hear the slight wind. Set it to 90, call it a day. Okay. I just hate how there's like these uber loud parts at times. Just like this swelling of music that like bursts my eardrums. It's very sad. But yeah, I was watching my own stream and it was just like at the beginning, like the cat fighting sounds outside of that one tavern just completely drowning out my voice. It's very funny. But let me take a caffeine pill because God knows I'm not going to be able to stay awake. Yeah. I don't know. Today I actually need to do shit, like YouTube shit, other than, you know, streaming. Because, you know, it's been a hot minute since I put out a video. Now, don't worry. I got excuses. First things first, two of the videos just didn't pan out. One of them was the challenge, the Deep Rock Galactic challenge that I ran with Murph. Just wasn't bueno. Like, I cut it, I did some editing, wasn't happy with it. Probably could have made it to be happy, but at that point I was already like 20 hours of like scripting and cutting down in, and I just was like, it just doesn't feel right. So I scrapped it. And by scrapped, I mean just it's sitting on my hard drive. Another one, which was just a funny haha, talked about the pizza meter. I'm not going to provide context, cope. But that one I also just didn't feel great about, and I didn't want to re-record anything. Who is this bozo? What's up, Schmozon? How's it going? But yeah, that's the state of affairs. Oh my god, dude. The flustered emoji just like popping up. That is so fire, actually. I forgot YouTube is actually like kind of catching up to Twitch on being, you know, an actual like good streaming platform. That was a salute. Was it? Oh my god. Oh, I just fucked up the chat because I wanted to send an emote. Oh my god. It's telling me to sign in. I can't read anything. God damn. How do I go back? Please help me. Please help me. The fuck is that, man? Oh, where's chat? There we go. Hey, yo. There we go. Alright, it's back. That's not the emoji search bar? No, it's not. It's not. Yo. Flusteredness aside. I'm dying slowly, Schmozone. I'm necrotizing in front of... I'm necrotizing on stream. It's Jover, man. It's Jover. Don't celebrate that shit, man. God damn. Input lag goes crazy. Oh, fire, dude. Fire. Not working. Yeah, that's about right. God, I love modern work culture where it's just like work for 2 hours, then don't work for the rest of your shift. Very fire. Yes, yes. Not working goes hard. Okay, but yeah. We should probably get to the game now. We chatted for a bit. Okay. What were we doing up here? Oh, right. There's this fucking gnome in a hovel. Dislike the stream. Thank you. Yeah. Listen, engagement's engagement, Schmozone. Alright. If you really hated me, you'd ignore me. What's up, dude? 000555 Zation. How's it going? Okay, right. We were chilling over here. We got a gnome in a hut. He's suspiciously wealthy for living in a town of thieves and crooks. Not true, false, actually. Whatever. Bro, dislikes don't mean anything on YouTube anymore. Hate watching goes crazy. It does, actually. Because, you know, contributing to the, like, view count of the streamer, you know, actually really negatively affects them. Okay, see you, Schmo. Have fun at work, homie. Okay, right. So we kind of skedaddled on over. We sped run. We met Slag over here. Over here. He's a god. He's one of the gods that we need to finesse at his shrine, which is like here, I think. But when I tried to do it before I warped time, it didn't work. So actually talking to him probably unlocked something else. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, we'll run around here a little bit more until we find something, hopefully. We might just need to let the elf die in the prison. Just call it a day. Because that's how we get this guy to be chill. But I don't know if that's going to work out in the long run. All things considered. Also, we just can't go down to the Gardens of Briar. No clue why. We just didn't have the option. Even though it seems like a neato place. Just no. Also, we still need to find the guy in the Fallen Quarter. But he's just gone. But yeah. I think that's about a decent enough summary. Excuse me. By golly. That's a decent enough summary. Alright, anyway. Jump back into it. Alright, yeah. So we got this troll-looking fellow. He's a gnome, I think. Yeah, a gnome. Okay. Anyway, this is him. Very dripped out. Various items of curious origin. It starts like this. Greetings, gnome. Greetings, the gnome answers enthusiastically. He pats the ground beside him. Let's see if we can do a little bartering. As you can probably tell, I've no interest in money. He wants my body. Oh no. The gnome gestures around his little room. There's clearly a lot to choose from, but the items which stand out are a bamboo flute, a pot of beeswax, a bag of goblin's teeth, and a compass whose needle quivers in a direction which is close to, but not actually north. What would you like? So let's check the spellbook here. Bamboo flute beeswax. Oh, there's the absolutely overwhelming music. So very sad. Because if they just mixed the audio a little bit better, it wouldn't be an issue. Only way to go, I guess. Yeah. Sadly, the game's got, like, absolutely no audio mixing, and also doesn't work with... like, OBS game capture, so I have to display capture and hope nothing suspect is on my desktop. Hence why I keep switching in and out, but every time I click, because it also doesn't allow windowed borderless. Nonetheless, though, banger game. But like min-maxing this, we can do beeswax for Raz. It's double normal damage, which is not terrible. We can do jig for with the bamboo flute, which might be pretty good, maybe. I don't think we have any more. Yeah, we don't have any more goblin's teeth. I don't think we had any to begin with. We only had the giant's teeth. Suspect. I jest. Do not worry. No, it's just like, you know, it'll show my Steam page. I don't have any goofy games or anything like that, but it's kind of distracting, you know? Oh yeah, the options here are pretty lackluster, all things considered. Except the compass. The compass seems pretty interesting. Huh. What do you think, dude? See, the compass seems like a gamble, and I feel like the gnome is just gonna get a little bit upsetty spaghetti if we flat out refuse him. He probably just wants to play dice or something. Well, look at this man. He's a whimsical creature. Surely nothing bad will come from making a deal with him without knowing the full terms of the deal. Beeswax, teeth, compass, bamboo flute. The compass is interesting because I have no clue what it's used for. And I don't see a use for the beeswax nor the bamboo flute in the near future that we don't already have tools for. Trust yourself. All right. I'll take that. Going with the compass. You pick up the compass. It's not a normal compass, the gnome says. Instead, it'll point to where where it thinks you need to go. I'm afraid it has a mind of its own, and it isn't always correct. Yeah, there's a little bit of lag, and it probably won't work in the countryside outside Care either. So I'd understand if you don't want it. I'm gonna take the compass nonetheless. Sounds intriguing, you reply, not putting the compass down. Anything else? I don't want to push my luck with the gnome. He's too generous. That is deeply concerning. Yeah, sadly, every live stream chat is going to have a significant amount of lag. I don't have it set up that way, you know. Some people like to have like a 30-second buffer that you can have set up. I don't know what the actual buffer is. I'm just like tossing out a number for the sake of tossing out a number, but nah. Not me. Can you fight it? Option hasn't presented itself just yet. I mean, so he wants something, right? He's not interested in money. So I'm deeply concerned. I'm gonna tell him that's enough. That's enough. All done. Very good. You took one of mine, so I've taken one thing of yours. I'm very quick. You probably didn't notice me doing it. Good day. The gnome gestures towards the door for you to leave. Wait, what did you take? Well, I have no idea. I'm a kleptomaniac, as should be fairly obvious. And what's more, I couldn't see into your pack when I was taking it, could I? But I'm very fair. I took exactly the right amount of things, so we're square. What the hell did he take? A kidney? Man's just stealing organs. Hey Murph, how's it going? I'm gonna look around for my things. You look around the crowded hovel, but you can see the gnome's point. In the pile of things, you don't recognize any of your belongings. And it's hard to be quite sure what he took anyways. Hold on. What did he take? Okay, he didn't take my legendary sword nor silver chain, so we're kind of chilling there. He didn't take the badge of the 7th noble. What? What did he take? If he took a spell, that would have sucked. He might have taken a dose of blimberry juice, in which case I'm fine with that. It's basically just a ration, so threaten him. I don't know. He's a quick man. I'm deeply concerned. You've made the decision to swap over to streaming on YouTube based on the conversation we had yesterday, the day before. Yeah, I don't think I talked to you yesterday. Is it like similar reasons? The kind of like... Now I'm trying to remember what I said. I don't even recall. I think I was saying something about Twitch being cringe nay. That's about it, though. I mean, I still do it on both. But yeah. Hell yeah. Very well. You are not pleased, but there is nothing for it. You head out of the hovel and return back to your path on the junction. Okay, maybe now it updated my items. I have the legendary sword, that's all I care about, really. Gold piece, badge of the 7th noble, which I need. Now I'm just... Oh, hold on. Okay. I'm deeply curious. This doesn't count as an actual rewind because I'm going to still do the same thing. He took, like, the walking cane or something. Maybe it's random every time. All right, I'm just gonna redo this. I think he did indeed yoink the walking cane. Okay. I'm just following the same thread just to make sure. Okay. Let's see now. Yeah, he yoinks the cane. Interesting. Okay. I'm cool with that. All right. After a while, another path joins this one. Looking back on it, you see a topped steeple. You are on the far edge of the wasteland. Ahead, the sun is setting behind the trees. Or, ahead, the sun is setting behind the trees ahead. That is a bizarre sentence. The needle on the compass is quivering. Check it. You glance down at the compass. The needle is swinging between the iron fence and the path backwards through the wastelands towards the steeple. Interesting. Oh, rip, dude. Good luck. Okay, let's go to the steeple. You make your way through the wasteland towards the church. Most of the building is in ruins, but a tall steeple reaches for the sky. Circling the steeple are two dark shapes. One looks like Circling the steeple are two dark shapes that look like enormous birds. At the foot of the church, a man dressed in rags is curled up, asleep. Look at him. You stop and peer down to look at him. Could this be Theta, the blind beggar that you were told to find? His face is curiously familiar. You've definitely seen it somewhere before since you've arrived in Care, although you've not seen any other beggars as filthy and smelly as this one. I saw his face in the painting from last session. You reach down and wake him up gently. At first, he doesn't respond, and you wonder if you were too late. But then he sits up sharply. "Who's there?" he demands. "I'm under attack! I'm under attack!" He rubs his eyes and then reaches out with dirty fingertips for your face. No! I could have given him his cane. Then he would know. "Greetings," you say. All right, we'll see how this interaction goes without the cane, but that's concerning. "Greetings," you say. The beggar groans and grumbles. "What did you wake me for? I can see in my dreams, you know. I'd rather stay there." "Who are you?" you demand. "I've seen your face somewhere before." "I'm nobody," the beggar insists. "Nobody at all. You are Theta, noble of Care." The man looks absolutely terrified by the accusation. He begins to curl up around himself and scream. It seems quite a strong reaction. Then you see he's not looking at you, but past you. "I'm not falling for that," you complain. But his fear is quite real. "God-cursed harpies," he declares bitterly. "They come for me every time. Every coin I get, every apple, every stinking crust of bread, they come and take it from me. What did I do to deserve such torment?" I'm going to step in front of the beggar. You push the beggar back and stare up into the sky. Oh, Jesus. The harpies are screaming down towards him, ugly, dark-skinned creatures with sharp talons on their arms and legs, coming to tear out what is left of his eyes. We could do dim, maybe. Fuck it, fireball. You cast the spell, winding a fireball in your palm. The beggar stumbles backwards, overawed by your power and the heat of your flame, and you toss it up towards the harpy. Does it hit? The fireball connects. The creature wheels and flaps in the sky, trying to put out the burning in its wing. Then it turns about, screaming downwards for your blood. Oh, he's basically dead already. The harpy's clawed wings raise a cloud of dust from the ground, blinding you as it swoops in close. You drop into a defensive crouch, covering your head. The harpy flaps away upwards. The harpy flexes its long talons as it turns in the air once more. It is still fighting. Full send. It's dead. You wait for the harpy's wide wings to open, then you strike. Your blade stings as it parts the air. The harpy hits the ground. It's a huge creature, as big as a bear, but the savage light in its eye has gone dark. The beggar darts forward to jab it with his stick, but there is no time for celebration, as the second creature is already searing down from the sky. Jeez. Okay. The second harpy swoops low, screaming out for blood. You keep your guard up and swing quickly, but the harpy is coming at you with terrific force. Its claws slash your arm. I smell blood, calls the beggar. Is it his? The harpy darts away up into the ancient rafters. You fall back, the harpy wheels and turns above you, threatening but not trying to attack. It screams as it crosses the sky. Full send. You pause, watching for the harpy's wings to open. Then you strike. You slice with your sword, putting a hole in the creature's wing. The harpy dribbles dark blood as it flies. The creature hovers, just a little out of reach, talons stretched. Swinging from a low crouch, you charge the beast's leathery wings. With a final turn through the air, the harpy barrels over, then tumbles, striking the side of the church. As it hits the ground, a wall collapses, and the creature is buried beneath a slide of masonry. The beggar cheers and begins to dance. Let's go! The beggar creeps out from his hiding place and thanks you 2 or 3 times over. I'm going to give him back his badge, since I can't give him his cane. Here, I have something of yours. You dig into your pack while Theta waits, cocking his head and listening to the sound of you rummaging through your things. Finally, you produce a badge and place it into his hand. He smiles and accepts it. Why, stranger, thank you, but he feels over the surface, trying to work out the shape. Then suddenly, he drops it, as though it were scalding hot. It's not mine, he says hotly. Not anymore. I wish I'd never taken it in the first place. I won't take it again. He kicks the badge and it skitters away into the debris of the falling church. Or of the fallen church. Lord Theta, I'd like to talk to you. He sighs. That's my name. I don't deny it, he replies. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you happily. Ever since blindness struck me down, I have been tormented by those demons, and they're now dead. You've saved me, or as much as I can be saved. I'm going to give him his walking cane. Wait, so he didn't take the cane. Oh, he must have taken the tinder box, actually. The gnome. Here, I have something for you. You take his outstretched hand and place his walking cane into his grip. His fingers find the familiar shape and he leans quickly into it with a sigh. My old friend, he murmurs. This saw me through the worst of times when my eyes were failing. I hardly need it now, of course. To demonstrate, he spins around on the spot, gets his legs into a tangle, and sits down sharply. But thank you, stranger. You are indeed kind. The beggar shivers against a sudden breath of cold. The afternoon is waning. Evening is approaching already. Days are growing shorter, Theta remarks. It's like that here, near the Backlands. What happened to your eyes? You take a moment to show some sympathy. What happened to your eyes? A black eye curse. I know who cursed me. It was Sansus. Once, he was a good ruler, fair and honest. He ruled care like a kind father looking after a cherished daughter. Nothing was too much effort, but he began to fear his other counselors. He thought we were plotting against him, ready to overthrow him. Go on. You see, or you can see he is shaking at the very act of remembering. You gesture him to continue. Go on. Well, the beggar whispers, he began to take actions against us. First, moving the portal traps around without telling us. Then later, people started to disappear. Shinva first. He was cursed to a living death. Then Molus, equally cursed to a dying life. Then me. He begins to weep once more. Didn't the Goblin King claim that he had blinded Theta? And Sansus has been missing. Your mind races. Could Sansus really be about to overrun his own city with goblins? Surely even the first noble of Care would not be mad enough to do that. The beggar makes a coughing sound. I'm starving, he whispers. So hungry. But you have no food you could offer him. Tell me your spell line for the gate, please. Happily, he says. I'm glad to be rid of it. It was... Oh, no. My memory is not as good as it was. Let me see, it was... He racks his brain, thinking for all he is worth. You think they were all cursed? Really, Brem? I mean, definitely. Cursed by who, though? I think one of the gods is just doing a little goofy, you know? I'm gonna wait for him. You wait patiently for him to remember. Got it, he exclaims. It's Bikorga's grace and something's pride. Oh, I can't remember what the something was. But you've heard the other half of the line, however. Forga? That's it, Theta exclaims. Or was it Tenga? No, I think it was Forga. The spell lines you have found are listed in the keys section of your inventory. Tell me the order of the spell lines. Just a little silly. Yeah, indeed. Tell me, you say, the order of the spell lines for the North Gate. Do you know it? Theta laughs. No idea. Although I know my line came first. You thank the beggar once more for his help. Then you look to the track ahead and take your leave of him. You return to the junction. Okay. You return to the far edge of the wasteland. Ahead, the sun is almost gone, and the trees glow with color. Let's go to the fence. The path ends at a tall, ancient iron fence, overgrown with weeds. Through the dense leaves, you can make out a wide area beyond, dotted with stones and small buildings and straight, somber trees. This is a necropolis of mausoleums and tombs. I'd climb the ivy and probably lose a stamina or two. You test the ivy. It seems tightly wound up the rails. Wedging one toe beneath the metal bars, you grip the cords of the plant and haul your way up. Then the second foot is up, and you are climbing. although you can feel the plant tearing under your hands. Jump down. You don't trust it. You let go and half leap, half fall from the fence. The ivy tears away from under your grip and you land in an uncomfortable heap on the ground. However, all is not lost. Where the plant has torn away, a foxhole has been revealed, leading underneath the fence. Something, a rat perhaps, scurries through the fence and back into the wasteland. I climb into the hole. You kneel down and wriggle your way into the foxhole. It's so narrow that you have to keep your arms in front of you and drag your pack along behind. But thankfully, it is short, coming up on the other side of the fence less than 2 strides away. You pull yourself up from a hole in the ground into a graveyard. You are standing in the grounds of the necropolis, a city within the city, occupied by the headstones and mausoleums of the dead. Somewhere between the yews and cedars, you can make out the wide road that loops through the graveyard before turning uphill as it heads for the far gate. The wind whistles between the tall trees. The sun is setting behind the wall. I use the compass. You pull out the compass and consult the needle. It spins around twice, then points at the depths of the graveyard. I'm going to explore the newer tombs. Any thoughts? Newer or older? We could do a little bit of grave robbing as a little treat. In the meantime, Lord Molus, the second noble of Care, has been cursed and is now a living corpse who torments the citizens of Care. I'm assuming that was the guy in robes and with the bell. So we know who that guy is now. Sansa is the Goblin King. Fair enough. We already knew that. Yo, you changed your PFP, Brem. Let's fucking go. Rob the old ones. Dude, you didn't have to tell me twice. Let's fucking go. You wind your way between the headstones to reach the oldest area of the graveyard, in the corner nearest to the city wall. Most of the stones here are now mere rubble. A few statues lie face down in the mud. A tree has split through a carved stone coffin. Search for grave goods. Yes. You search between the ancient headstones for any offerings or any grave goods left behind, but these tombs are hundreds of years old. No one visits them anymore, and the offerings that were left have long sunken into the clay. Find the oldest grave. You soon find what appears to be the oldest tomb. It's a small mausoleum with a low roof supported by ornately carved pillars. The inscription reads, "Here lies Lorag, founder of Care." You feel the hairs on the back of your neck rise. This is the grave of the man whose ghost you met at the gate. Look at the mausoleum. The tomb is a simple stone cabinet, carved with the likeness of a man. From centuries of rain and wind, you can make out nothing but a long, grizzled beard. Below the inscription is a longer tablet, but it's half-weathered and covered in moss. Clear the inscription. You clear away the dirt from the carved inscription, but you still cannot make out the words, only trace their outlines with your finger. The eyes of the carved statue appear to be watching you. I'm going to try to make a rubbing. For a rubbing of the inscription, you would need some kind of charcoal to rub with it, and you have nothing that will do. Examine the carved man. You look closer at the carved man, but notice nothing more. It is just an engraving of an old man in a serene death pose. If this is really the grave of the founder of Care, the chances are he did not die quite so peacefully. Leave the tomb. Sadly, grave robbing does not appear to be on the agenda today, Brem. I apologize. There are several tombs here. There must have been a recent plague on the rich in the city. They are scattered around in roughly alphabetical groups. Anagil? Explore the... Alright. We're going to explore the tombs of Anagil the Farat. You browse around the tombs looking for names you recognize, but none of them catches your eye. Something flitters past your face. A bat? Explore the tombs of Gilt to Neferet. You meander further between the gravestones, but nothing stands out for you. Wait, whom? I don't want to be like soft blocked from like potentially grave robbing. So hold on here. Shinva. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we'll do Yulksor to Yiz first. You keep looking, but though the graveyard is full, it is beginning to feel very empty to you. Then suddenly, you hear a deep moan and the rattle of chains. Something is clouding in the air in front of you. It is a death wraith. This land is cursed for the living, the death wraith moans, raising its ghostly spectral arms and holding out bony fingers. You must become dead. Wah! Alright. I'm finna whip this hoe. What do we got? Gawk. Cause fear. I don't know if I can scare a ghost, but that'd be really funny if I had a face mask to do that. Nif. Stench. Stink the ghost out. I can cause clumsy on a ghost. Just make him a little clumsy. Yeah. No, reading minds won't do much here. What else can I do? Invisible wall, maybe. I'd create a shield for 1 gold piece. Nah. Let's just beat it up. You ready your sword and strike at the death wraith, but the blade passes straight through it. It seems normal weapons cannot harm this creature, but when it lashes out with the back of its hand, you feel that well enough. I'm going to try the silver chain. Thinking quickly, you dig up the chain maker's silver chain instead and wind it about with one hand. The death wraith grins and leers closer. Ooh. Good, I decided to defend then. The death wraith drifts forward, one hand reaching for your neck, the other holding its blade aloft. It howls with icy rage as it approaches, knife outstretched. You gather your wits and drop into a defensive crouch. I'm gonna go for it. Yes. Okay. The chill of the graveyard is all around you as you seize the moment to strike. You charge forward, and with the Death Wraith's knife, the Death Wraith's knife is easily turned. It does not bleed, but it seems to flicker. You reach out, or it reaches out with long skeletal fingers. I will come for your blood. Hey, yo. It hisses, I will suck you dry. My God. Death Wraith's got Riz. Fuck. Defending. You stretch the chain between your two hands as the Death Wraith reaches out with its skeletal hand. You turn most of the blow, then adjust your grip and try to settle your nerves. It leans forward with crooked hands. Your heart will be mine. The Wraith hisses. It will stop. Defend again. He's gearing up for a big attack. You steady your chain high as the Death Wraith leans towards you with its bony grip. Okay. You watch the Death Wraith fearfully. It wails and stings. Jesus. It wails and sings as it slashes its blade backwards and forwards. You parry in a flash of sparks and metal. Something dark flutters across your face. You ready your chain for a strike, finding the Wraith's thin form. You whip the chain and catch the Death Wraith beneath its own raised blade. The Death Wraith shimmers for a moment, its skull mask seeming to slip. It reaches out with hooked bony fingers. I can taste your life, the creature wails. I am hungry. You drop back as the Death Wraith comes for your neck with its skeletal fingers. You breathe out heavily. It leans forward with long hands. You secure the chance to attack. You power at the Wraith. You cut across his cruel blade, and the Wraith moves between headstones. The Death Wraith is growing paler and more gray. You are injuring it. You fall backwards across the grim yard, staying low. The Death Wraith grins skull-like teeth as it slashes its blade backwards and forwards. You counter quickly. You stumble and fall. The Wraith grins its bony teeth. It can smell the approach of death. You prepare your chain to attack, connecting with the creature. You lash the chain. With a final strike, the creature wails and moans. It seems to vanish in on itself. The air is suddenly a little warmer. Okay. The guardian of the cemetery, gone. He's fucking dead, all right? We are so chilling, the grave robbing shall occur in full force, okay? You hurry back onto the path before the creature can rise again. In the fields of the graveyard, you see other specters arising from the earth. Shit. Oh, I took too long then. Okay, all right. This is the real, hold on. We're doing the first real rewind of the stream, okay? Again, I'm limiting myself to 3 per stream for so basically 1 per hour. Okay. You look from one headstone to another. This is the option I didn't choose because I knew it would end it. You look from one headstone to another. A few catch your eye, though you cannot immediately say why. Let's look at Pariah's gravestone. You examine Pariah's gravestone, but there's nothing special about it except how new it seems to be. The stone is barely weathered at all. as if poor Preya may have only been buried last week. If that's true, however, no one has left her flowers. You walk over to Riff's tomb. It seems quite ordinary. An angel with a covered face, and beneath its clawed feet a dying serpent. Beneath the serpent's open jaws hangs a bone bracelet. We are stealing that. Oh my god. Okay. So any grave robbing causes that's so obnoxious. Any grave robbing causes the bruh to come out. All right, let's I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The grave robbing was a meme. Okay. We're doing Shinva's. We know Shinva's is the one that we need. You approach Shinva's mausoleum. Carved above the door is, "Here rests Lord Shinva, 5th noble of care." Your heart hammers. Is this the undead noble that you were warned you needed to find? Shinva's mausoleum. The door to Shinva's mausoleum seems to be unlocked, and is a crack ajar, as though someone regularly came and went. In front of it is a little ring of mushrooms growing up against the front step of the mausoleum. You crouch down and look at the mushrooms. They look highly poisonous, not least because you cannot see a single insect crawling around or under them. Unusually, the ring itself is also perfectly circular in shape. In its center, something silver glints, a stake pushed into soft soil. We know this is a trap. All portal traps are circular in shape. There's no point in casting sus. What is Mog? Protect from magic? Let's do that. I'm going to take the silver stake. Alright. You step into the circle of magic and take the stake, confident that your magical protection will keep you safe. Surely enough, no ill effects of any kind, or perhaps they were just mushrooms after all. You drag the stake out of the ground, and it's a short sword, as it would appear, made of pure silver. Yo! It is still too cold to stand in the shadow of the wall. You step into the tomb. Shinva's tomb. The air inside is freezing. Dust coats the floor. Urns line the walls, but there's no coffin. The floor space is empty, except in the far corner, where a narrow stone staircase leads down into darkness. Hold on. I'm going to drink Blimberry. Just so we have that. I want to make a move. The air inside is freezing. Dust coats the floor. Urns line the walls, but there's no coffin. The floor space is empty, except in the far corner, where a narrow stone staircase leads down into darkness. Skulls peer at you from the walls. I'm going to go down the stairs. Unafraid of what you might find below, you make your way towards the stairs. But you have stepped on some kind of switch, as behind you you hear a noise, and you turn to see the door is swinging shut. No point to panic. We're chilling. We're going to let it close. Okay. You stay back, not wanting to be crushed by the heavy stone door. It seals with a bang, and you are plunged into darkness, filled with only the sounds of your own breathing. And one other noise, a distant rattle of chains. The echo of the slamming door circles the room. Things are moving across the flagstones. I'm going to light the tinderbox. Wait, hold on. Cause depression. Damn. I don't have a sun jewel, sadly. We could dop, but we don't need to just yet. We could hit a sus just to see if we're in actual danger. You cast a spell, clearing your mind to calm. Or, sorry, you cast the spell, clearing your mind to allow a calm inner voice to speak. It warns you that in the lower level contains a dangerous death wraith, which can only be defeated by weapons made of silver. Otherwise, a voice remarked, there's nothing for you to fear here. The darkness is absolute. Anything could have your throat in this gloom. I'm gonna light the tinderbox. You fumble for the tinderbox and strike it. A spark flashes, but without any tinder, a flame cannot catch. It goes dark just as quickly as it lit. You dig through your pack for something flammable. Fragments of paper are too small, but you have a larger alternative. Burn my spell book. Why would I do that? I am a sorcerer. That is my only ability to do magic. Pray for aid. You close your eyes and raise a fervent prayer to the ape. For a moment, you do not think it is heard. Then somewhere underground, you hear a mighty crash, as though a heavy weight had fallen from a fraying rope. The door suddenly jitters in response. It seems the counterweight which had caused it to close has come away. You should now be able to open the door. Prise it open. Getting your fingers in between the door and the wall, you are able to prise it open only a fraction, then a little further still, until the cool air of the graveyard is flowing into the mausoleum. You gasp with relief. Okay. Something rushes across your boots into a crack in the stone. Okay. That's open. We can flee if we need to. We probably could have just dopped to do that instead of wasting the ape prayer. But you head for the stairs once more, but the light of the doorway does not go far. Halfway down, the darkness is absolute once more. Yeah, and we don't have a sun jewel. Fuck it, we ball. If we die, Lamau. Menacing sounds echo from the depths of the crypt. Clanking chains, the moaning of a wind. Perhaps there's some kind of machine down here. Perhaps the mechanism that operated the door. Surely it can be nothing worse. Do we flee and go back in the hopes we can find tinder? Because we need something to burn. Let's freeze. You stop still. Something reaches around and touches your neck with an ice-cold grip that tightens and tightens. Stab with the silver sword. You lash out with the silver sword and you feel it connect with your attacked, who groans and moans. But in the darkness, you miss as often as you hit, while their grip on your neck is squeezing every last drop of air from your While their grip on your neck is squeezing every last drop of air from your lungs, you begin to choke, struggle. You twist and turn around, but you only shake the last air from your lungs. Then, Just as you thought you'd never breathe again, a heavy blade is pushed into your heart, and you die from that instead. You've been stabbed in the dark. Kind of expected. Okay. I was kind of hoping the ape would, hold on. It's not where I wanted to rewind to. Right here. Okay. Okay. We're leaving for now. Okay. You avoid the ring of mushrooms as you leave. Outside, the night is falling. Things are stirring between the moaning trees. You would do well not to linger here. Something scurries across your foot and is gone. Yeah, so we need something flammable, sadly. You follow the path gratefully and make it to the far side of the graveyard. Besides the gate is a disguised well, perhaps once used to draw water to wash bodies before internment. Pull up the bucket. You turn the winch on the side of the well, drawing up a bucket from underneath. It comes top filled with water. Is this as fresh as the water from the other fountain you tried? No, it's from the sewer. We came up through here. We're moving on. The rear gate of the graveyard hangs from its hinges, but not from age. It seems something has been taken apart, maybe widened even to let something through. Beyond is deep forest. Okay. You walk for half an hour through thick trees along a narrowing track until you reach a fork in the road. To the left, the track is narrower still. To the right, a massive shadow looms so large it seems as though a colossus has seated itself on the wall in thought. A chill wind blows through you as though ghosts walked back and forth this way. Check the compass. Taking out the compass, you take a bearing. It turns wildly before settling to point to the left road through the trees. The trees whimper and move. Night is drawing in. We're going to approach the shadow. You stand at the base of a towering ziggurat, carved from stone blocks, each the size of a hay bale. The temple rises higher than the city wall and well positioned to catch the first stars of the evening at its uppermost point, a moment which has just passed. You have a healthy fear of Care's weirder gods. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. I thought by make a move, it meant like move up. I want to go up. Okay. I'm going up the ziggurat. I'm looking for an opening. Okay. I'll look at the gargoyle too. The gargoyle is carved in the shape of a small but spiky dog with long claws, sharp horns, and a pointed beard. Its mouth is wide open and tongue lolls out, with a coin-shaped slot on the back of its throat. Oh, okay. I just kind of like put together what this was. So, of course, before we warped time, this was like the stairs are hard to go up, but what it probably is if you pay a gold piece, it's easy to go up. So I'll drop in a gold piece. You slide in a gold piece into the gargoyle's mouth. For a moment, nothing happens. Then it appears to swallow, and next it opens its stone eyelids to reveal two crisp and beautiful eyes. Look into its eyes. Looking into the gargoyle's eyes fills you with a sense of calm and peace. The eyes close after a moment, but the sense of well-being remains. Or did you just imagine that the gargoyle moved? Or climbing up? You begin to climb up, hauling yourself up the first step. Either this ziggurat was built for giants or ascending as an act of devotion. The next few steps are equally exhausting. You have to throw your pack up and follow first. We're doing big again. We know this works. I want to try to get as many spells as possible from the top. So I'm not going to read this. I read this a while back. If I notice anything different, then I'm going to start reading it out again. I'm going to look at the view. Look around the south face. Okay, we have the first opening here. You climb up another 20 minutes up the stone or the steep stone steps until you are gasping and panting for breath once more. But finally, you reach the dark opening that you saw from the base of the temple. The steps themselves continue up further still to the very peak of the temple. I'm going to look in the opening. The opening is guarded by rock-sculpted images of unimaginable creatures. Beyond, you see a long, dark hallway with something large gleaming at the far end. Let's climb for the top first. Then we'll come back down. You keep climbing before your legs seize up from the climb. All the way... sorry. Let me just restart. It appears per usual my reading sucks. Mainly because I'm looking at the middle of the sentence. You keep climbing before your legs seize up from the climb, all the way to the top of the ziggurat. Night has fallen. Stars spread across the sky in a peaceful repose that belies their true nature. Warring spirits tussling for control of the world below. Look at the stars. With your head tilted back, you can see more stars than you've ever seen in this city. Perhaps you are above the lights and the smog and the dust, or perhaps more stars choose to cluster here, around this sacred site. If you were a true mage and not a mere sorcerer, who knows what spells you could weave in a spot like this? I'm going to try to fashion another spell. Because it's likely that we're going to have to warp time again to go back. Lack. You fashion the stars into alignment, and an enchantment is created. From the heavens comes a deep, distant rumbling. Thunder. Out over the backlands. A few minutes later, you are in the midst of a torrential downpour that leaves you quite drenched. A few minutes later, the rainstorm has passed as suddenly as it appeared and has moved across the city. You have found one more of the secret spells of the Temple of Korga. An icy wind chills you to the bone. Look at the view. You look out across the city. In the far distance, you see torches in the woods near the northern gate. Looking back, you see the lights of care coming on, the shouts of travelers, the shouts of revelers, drunks, and nighttime thieves. Care has no idea what's coming. The view is quite wondrous, but your journey beckons. You start the long climb back down the ziggurat once more. You're back in the opening of the temple. All right, we've been here before. Wait and listen. Oh no! The snake, it's poisonous. Full send. Don't care. The snake temple snaps and hisses in the air between you. You swing out wildly, hoping to chop it in two. As it shoots forward, the snake lashes out wildly in agony. Again. The temple snake is retreating, but you give chase. Launching off your heels, you lunge for the beast's neck. With a weird scream that echoes in the in the cold stone, the snake dies, its head crashing to the floor. You wipe your sword clean and wait for the violent echoes of the fight to fade. Then you go further in. The sight of the shrine takes your breath away. The walls are decorated with brightly colored murals that depict scenes from religious mythology of care. Fine ornaments and precious metal are set in alcoves along the pews, and rich woven tapestries cover every surface. A cunning trick of architecture catches the wind past the doorway and creates a constant ethereal humming, as though a crowd of monks sat in permanent meditation inside. In the far end, 4 large stone gargoyles of winged demons watch over the shrine from mounts high up in the eaves, guarding the altar on which a gigantic idol squats, Korga himself. It is a life-sized version of the model of Korga you saw in the abandoned house yesterday. You walk up towards the altar across a richly patterned carpet. Something gives you pause. Its surface is decorated with wide symbols that seem too deliberate to be accidental. I will avoid the circles. You walk up to the altar, carefully stepping around the circles in the carpet, and reach the altar steps without incident. You stand before the idol, a fat statue set with gems and curious pock-marked features. Above his head is a plaque that bears an inscription. We don't need to read it. Kiss the idol. It is left, right, forehead, lips. You straighten once more and see the idol's eyes flick open. A soft voice issues from its mouth. Stranger, you are not of my faith, whispers the idol, and yet you've completed my ritual. How can that be? I am lucky. The god laughs softly. My sister Effie is the god of luck. I am the god of grace, but you are in my temple today. My reward is to answer one question, but I am the God of grace, and I require that my followers show grace. You have not. I can see all, remember, I am a god, and I see that you've committed murder, a red-eye guard, so I deny you my aid, as you have denied others their lives. His voice rises from a gentle whisper to a rolling thunder that echoes around the walls. Now leave, or I will repay you in kind. Fair enough, bro. I'm skedaddling. You return to the opening in the temple. All right. So here's the plan, fellas. Next time, we have to avoid the Temple of the Red Eye in its entirety. In its entirety. Sorry, not the Temple of the Red Eye. The Red Eye Jail. Because we tried, we cannot save the elf without killing the guard. It's just impossible. So we'll avoid that. We will probably try to find some form of Tinder and then continue forth. We need to do a lot of gambling though. All right, stride forwards. Something catches your eye. Torchlight. Wait. Who goes there? Friend or foe? Friend. Right, this is the elf. What proof do you require? Yes. I'm pleased I could help. What brings you here? There are goblins arising near the north gate. The elven stares at you, so you speak the truth. This is important news. Vic must be told. He bows his head. It seems I owe you once again. With that, and the flick of his fingers, he disappears into the tree. Shit. So I might be able to go through now. You've reached the north gate once more, and the ground is still empty. The goblins have not risen yet. Off to one side is a well, but there is no other cover. Wasting no time, you straight over the gate. We don't have the full gate spell. I'm just going to cast a spell. Dop. Fuck it. Let's see. Boop. Nothing happened. So you cast the Dop spell, hoping that everything you've heard about the doors being wizard-locked is bluster and hyperbole. Nothing happens. You hear a scrabbling noise in the distance. Recite the spell. Okay. By Korga's grace and Forgu's pride, 2 tumblers sealed the deep inside. Incorrect, the door is sealed. Fuck. You drop back as the goblins arise. From the other end of the clearing, a baying sound announces with the arrival of a pack of werewolves, led by Vic himself. A terrible fighting begins. In the midst of the bloodshed, a ghost appears, beckoning you. All right, Lorag, nice to see you again. It seems you are not successful, the wizard remarks. Would you try again? Are you willing to give up the search now? I'm not abandoning care. I will try again, you tell him. This time, choose your path with care. Once again, the wizard begins his spell, and you feel yourself drawn into the air. Okay. So, where do we go? We got no gold, no bitches, absolutely nothing, right? No rations either, which is arguably more concerning. Fireview Square, gonna be Garbo. Western slums ain't gonna help. Oh, where the hell do we go? Okay, where have we not explored? We haven't gone here. I guess technically we haven't gone this way. So we might choose to go this way this time. We hit up this house. We did not hit up this house. Though this appears to be probably like guards stuff. We haven't been on Mansion Row. We haven't been to the Temple of Slag. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back outside Care. We're going to continue forward. We're starting from the very beginning, okay? We're going to incrementally make our way up. The second time is more pleasant than the first. The city or the pain. Sorry, the second time is no more pleasant than the first. The pain builds, then you explode outwards, teeth and skull and limbs flying in all directions. The city port below looms large, swallowing you like a dark mouth. Then you are awake. You are back on the pass outside Care, in twilight. It is as though the last 2 days had not occurred, except that you now know the layout of the city and the whole matter of the spell lines. You've not seen a living soul except once, when a dark figure raced across the hilltops overhead and then was lost from view. So you are naturally cautious when you round a bend in the path and see a beggar crouched low against a rock, muttering to himself. "What's up, dude?" You stop outside of sight behind an outcropping, but the beggar does not seem much like a threat. Approach him. You call a greeting and stride over. The man leaps to his feet, drawing a short stick from inside of his cloak. "Who goes there?" he demands. "What's your business in Care?" "I'm on a quest." The man prods a little harder with his stick. "A quest? A quest for what?" "I seek the crown of kings." You answer, watching his face for a reaction. "If he has one, he hides it well." "Never heard of it," he replies. "What's it for?" He prods harder. "Answer me, or you'll face the consequences." "Who are you?" "You're certainly very brave." The man beams with an aging pride. "I am the city guard. No one enters Care except through me." Then, despite his age and clear ill health, he comes at you, waving his stick. "I won't fight you." You are unarmed. He waves the stick at your face, jabbing a few times, but you push the point aside with one hand. "All right then, we'll settle this fairly." He tosses the stick to one side and raises his fists. His knuckles are blackened with scabs. "I still won't fight you." The beggar makes a short braying noise like a laugh, then lamps you on the nose. It is surprisingly painful. He's readying for another swing. Step away. You step back, and with that, the fight seems to drain from him. He sits down again, suddenly sad. "Very well," he moans. "You're right, I suppose. I can't defend the city on my own." "You're very brave." "Am I?" He looks up. "I don't feel brave. I'm still alive. Doesn't that make me a coward?" He shivers. "You don't have any food with you, do you?" he asks sadly. "No. I'm sorry." The man shakes his head and sighs. "No matter then. There's still plenty o' meat of a grass vole if you know how to nibble 'em." "Bro, come with me." You take pity on the old man. "Come with me. I'm going into Care." The soldier considers your offer for a moment. "Are you sure? I know the word for the wall, but they will not want to let me through the gate." "Sounds like we can help each other." He clambers slowly to his feet. A gleam of hope has entered the poor man's eyes. "Very well then, stranger, a trade." "Shit, we left the key inside the lock." "Uh-oh." That's fine. We got Dop. The beggar walks a few strides ahead, the ghost of a military pace in his step. "What is your name?" "Captain Thomas of the 4th Legion, responsible for the southern perimeter." He knocks his bony heels together. "At your service." "What are you doing out here, soldier?" "We were sent to investigate sightings, a whole legion of us, back when the council felt bold, but they locked the gate and wouldn't let us back in." "They locked you out of the city. They locked goblins out," he replies. "If the goblins were gone, they'd let us in. But they aren't gone. They're in the rocks." "What are the goblins doing?" "Don't know. They can't get through the walls, but then I think I've heard them digging, scraping at the mud in the night." "Oh, okay. So the man was right about the goblins. The walls weren't built to keep anything out. They were here before the goblins, Thomas says. They were built to keep people in. Care is one gigantic trap itself. Why? Would you be happy ruled by pirates and thieves? He points. Cast your eyes up. You see them, archers, facing in both directions. You could scramble up the slope and get a better view of the wall. Yes. You scramble up the slope for a better view of the wall, leaving Thomas behind. It seems your new friend was right. Standing atop the huge stone blocks is a guard with a longbow slung over his shoulder. Watch the archer. You keep watching. The guard above the gate looks this way and that, but doesn't shift from his position. Down in the pass. Who goes there, friend or foe? We're going to let Thomas answer. Friend, and the watchword is Cantopanti. Approach. Thomas turns and smiles at you. The south gate stands before you. It's as tall as 2 men, and it would be broad enough to ride 3 horses through if it were only open. But instead, it is locked and there is no other way inside the city. But perhaps a spell would suffice. Over to you. Dop will do. You cast a spell on the lock of the gate. The gigantic tumblers squeal as they turn and reach forward to touch the massive... And reaching forward to touch the massive door, you find, sure enough, it is now unlocked. Thomas hangs back. Good work, but do you think it's safe to go through? I'm sure it is. Thomas considers that for a moment, then he nods. Well, no matter. I'm a Karahine guard, not a criminal. I'm not afraid. And with that, he slips through the door and dashes away. You hear nothing for a brief moment, then the sound of shouting voices and feet rushing away. Slipping inside, you find the yard deserted. The old soldier has cleared it for you. You push the great gate closed. You pause in the shadow of the gate. To your left is a low stone building with metal bars for windows. You're going to duck behind the building. Wait and watch. Time to move on. We're not going to mess with the old man again. Okay. We're going to go down here. Night is falling. Luckily, by the roadside is a small inn, which make a perfect place to stay before you lose yourself in the winding streets of Care. Alternatively, you could walk into the fields to the right and sleep under the stars. But somewhere nearby, you hear a low, baying howl. Gotta sleep outside, no other option. You stride off into the fields and find a muddy dell in which you stretch out. The stars are out, forming the constellations of the gorilla. You find a certain peace despite the hulking shadow of the wall. You settle quickly. The sounds of the city drift to you in the night air. Shouts and screams and the occasional distinct howl. You doze fitfully, turning over your mind what the old man in the jail told you. 4 spell lines are required to open the north gate. Then, halfway through the night, you awaken to the sound of something scratching on the earth nearby. Sit up. You sit up and peer into the darkness. You see red glowing eyes and slavering teeth in the gloom. It is a werewolf. But how can that be? The moon is only crescent. Watch the beast. The beast paces around you in a circle, moving in and out of the shadow of the wall. Then, for a moment, you see it in full moonlight, a sight that makes you catch your breath. What you took to be gray fur is in fact metal. The werewolf is wearing fitted plate armor. Not good. Trying to figure out what we should do here. Because the werewolf is definitely intelligent. We don't have enough shields or enough gold pieces for a shield. We could do how. There's no way to escape. Okay, you'll have to face the beast. Fair enough, we full send. Yippee. The werewolf paces the mud before you, its armor flashing in the narrow moonlight. Driven by fear, you charge headlong. It bites the air, but your blow lands in a spurt of blood and fur. As the werewolf grows weaker, its eyes grow redder and more desperate. The wolf drops into a crouch. Done. You bring your sword about for a wild blow, and the strike catches the beast deep. As the werewolf weakly turns its jaws towards your legs, you lift your blade and plunge it into its throat. The werewolf gurgles, and as it curls around the blade and dies. Can I loot it? With the werewolf dead, you wipe your sword on the grass and try to calm your thudding heart. Search the body. You look over the beast's armor with fascination. It is finely made, tightly forged to this wolf's shape. Perhaps such a shell can keep a wolf from reverting when the moon starts to wane. Prise it open. With the tip of your sword, you prise loose the catches that hold the armor in place. As plates slip to the ground, the dead beast begins to transform, turning from a savage thing into a young human woman. But the transformation does not alter the sword wound in her throat and does not bring her back to life. Examine her. With a heavy heart, you regard her face. Otherwise, she seems to just be a girl, maybe 18 or 19 years old. With the night now quiet still, it's hard to believe that a moment before you were faced by a slavering werewolf. Was that a mere illusion, and you've slain an innocent passerby? But the wolf-shaped armor is still there, and the girl has a telltale wolf bite on her neck just below a strange tattoo. Look at the tattoo. The tattoo reads Vic. It is hold on. Water goes hard. Actually, fire drink. Highly recommend. The tattoo reads Vic. It is undecorated. The penmanship is clear and simple. It is more like a cattle brand than a mark made for a lover. It is the tattoo a slaver makes on its stock. We're going to bury her. By the thin moonlight, you begin to dig in the mud with your sword, scraping out a hole large enough to bury this poor woman. The work is hard, but you have no choice. You cannot leave her for the crows. It is little consolation to know that she was doomed long before your sword ran through her. As you cover her up, you commend her soul to the gorilla. Then you move a short distance away and bed down to sleep and try to forget the dead woman's face. Your dreams, when they come, are of a wall, like a towering monster drenched in moss and slime. The gate its wide-open maw. On its back is a host of guards chanting a mantra too quiet for you to hear. As you watch, It reaches down with fingers made from flagpoles and skewers the old beggar man, lifting him, flailing into the air. As you make your way inside, guards appear and disappear from holes in the ground like burrowing moles. A wolf in shining armor howls at the sun, then turns to blow you a kiss. And it's as though you can see the crown, sitting in the dust on the far side of the north gate, so close, yet so out of reach. Next morning. You wake quickly from sleep. Your journey must continue. There's no time to lose. Following the tracks for a few minutes, you reach a junction where 3 roads begin. These are the outskirts of Care. Huts huddle like beggars on either side of the tracks leading uphill into the city port. It's time to choose your road. You need to track down the city nobles and get the spell lines for the gate the old man told you of. Just at that moment, a cart rolls down the road from the right and careens around the corner to take the main track ahead. This time, however, the crate wobbles but does not fall, and it disappears up the road, leaving nothing behind. Interesting. It seems not everything is fixed after all. Okay. Let's go straight. We're poor, but we got to cope with that. Okay. You stay on the main road, which rises up a slight slope to reach a small settlement of poor huts. As you pass these homes, ugly creatures gather to watch you in silence. A little further on, you come across a body lying face down in the gutter, a beggar, asleep, or some sort of creature in a drunken stupor. You approach the limp body cautiously. Nobody in the street seems to be taking any notice. You bend down closer and shake the shoulder of the body. There is no response. Roll it over. You grip the body's arm and turn it over. Its face swings around. You jump back, aghast. The body is a semi-decayed corpse with a rotting head that is half skull, half putrid flesh. And worse, an evil smile is spreading across its face. A moment later, it is sprung to its feet, leaping at you. I'm going to throw the chain at the corpse. You whip out the chain you got from the chainmaker shop and fling it at the corpse. The chain wraps itself around the body and begins to tighten like a snake, squeezing the air out of its prey. Then, quite suddenly, the corpse explodes into a bloody mess of arms, legs, head, and torso. The chain collapses into a tight knot and hits the ground, while separate pieces of the corpse keep coming after you. Fight. You are now battling a flying mess. The head floats up and stares at you in the eyes, while a leg aims to kick your midriff. You raise your sword swiftly, but you leave yourself unprotected. The creature bites a chunk of flesh from your arm. Huh? Uh-oh. Then the living corpse is all over you. Mid-swing, you are open. There is hair everywhere, and the head gets close enough to try and bite out your eyes. You are bleeding. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body. The living corpse bites at you manically. Passerbys on the street stop and watch in horror. Dirty fingernails rake at your side. You are bleeding heavily and the enemy is still coming. Time to best this hideous monstrosity. You aim a blow for its head as the living corpse floats across the street. You circle away from the living corpse. It lunges, legs flying up either side to squash your skull. Its fingers curl and claw as they reach out for you, but you hang back. You stagger backwards, pursued by the ragged head. You cannot take much more of this. You settle the rising bile in your stomach and ready your blade. You swing hard, the corpse is wide open as it kicks you. You cut a chunk of its dead flesh clean away. The corpse wobbles midair, arms crashing into legs. You have it confused. I barely survived that. You continue the hideous fight. You chop at its legs, and your blade lands into the creature's brain. The head falls to the floor, and its other limbs go limp in an instant. The other body parts on the ground squirm and slowly ooze together. The corpse now looks again as though it had been run over by a chariot race, but it is lying still, at least for now. Take my chain back. You collect the chain from the ground once more. Somehow, in the confusion, it's unknotted itself. Whatever magic it contains must still be present. Search the body. Expecting another immediate attack, you go over to search the body, but it is clothed in rags and has barely any pockets, let alone anything inside them. Search the corpse's mouth. Nothing there, but then you remember the corpse's strange, guttural screams, as though it was constantly choking. Check the throat. Disgusted, you push your fingers to the back of the corpse's throat. Something. Yes, with fingertips you draw a fragment of paper. But it is a handwritten line. But it has been torn in half. Along the script, you cannot make out the words alone. But of course, putting the paper fragment and the torn note you found under the stone when you stopped to eat, you see that they are a perfect fit, and they clearly form a spell line. I bid you portals wide open. The second noble, Molus, must have tried to swallow his note before he was killed, or whatever happened to him. Goddamn, okay. The spell lines you have found are listed in the keys section. From a nearby doorway, a face appears and beckons you over. You stride over to the hut. The face is that of a small gnome who begins to chatter in a high-pitched voice. You killed it! Did you kill it? I think you killed it. I killed it. You agree. It's wonderful, the gnome says. We're saved. It'll be a good few months before it wakes back up again. We'll cart it somewhere. Here, we wanted to thank you. He reaches behind him for something. Wait and see what he does. You wait, and the gnome produces a small bag containing 5 gold peaches. Gold peaches? Gold pieces. I'm sure it's not much to a man like you, he apologizes, but it's from all of us. Peering through the window of the tiny hut, you make out 20 or so faces. Thank you, you reply and nod your head. What was that creature? They say it used to be the second noble of Care, the gnome whispers. But he angered the first, so he was cursed to live in Care forever. But now he is like a bad gold piece, keeps showing up. He gets dumped in different parts of the city. I think we'll take him to the Svin quarter next. It's their turn. There's a chuckle of agreement from inside the house. Where can I find the nobles? Now, maybe you can help me out. Where can I find the nobles, you asked the gnome. The others, you mean? They should be in the council, but people say they've been going missing. He taps the side of his nose. They say the first noble has been in the council for 2 months now. The gnome is starting to look awkward. Ask about the spell lines. Another question. Do you know any of the spells for the North Gate? The gnome bursts into laughter, laughing so hard, in fact, that he begins to cry. Do I look like a knob? He asks. Do I? You look like a rotten tree stump. Jesus Christ. You look like your ear is close to the ground. You reply. The gnome nods to that. True, true. But to know the lions, you have to go lower than that. Not all the nobles are even alive anymore. He scratches his nose meaningfully, although what he means is anyone's guess. Anyway, you could ask the priest at the shrine. He might be able to help. The gnome's nose twitches. I'm going now, he says quickly. Here's one more gift. There is more kerfuffle. Then he brings out 3 pebbles. You're a sorcerer, he whispers. These are for taking pot shots, so I hear. And he winks. You thank him and place the gift carefully in your pack. Then you continue up the street. Bruh. So like the first noble is literally just like in, oh my God, that's obnoxious. Okay. Anyway, moving forward. So we took like we took the longest route then. First noble's right here. Then we took the even longer route first. Oh my God. That's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, walk on. You continue along the road. On one side, the buildings are replaced by meager patches of field, roughly fenced, housing small, skinny cattle. It's quiet, with no one about. This part of the city is barely habited, and certainly not somewhere where the nobles would be found. But you may be able to learn some useful information from its inhabitants all the same. You pass by a large structure with its doors wide open. The smell of incense floats from within, a shrine of some kind. Look at the building. You stop to peer inside, but you make out nothing in the darkness. It seems to be a wide unlit space. The low sound of chanting floats out of the street, a woman's voice. You step into the gloomy shade of the building. The aroma of perfume and oil grows so thick that you begin to cough and choke, announcing your presence to whatever is inside. The singing voice falls silent. Who's in there? You call out to the darkness. There is no reply, just a quiet sound like a light footstep or the turning page of a book. Then there is a voice. Greetings, man of Analand. I see you are an honorable soul. You are welcome. Greetings, you answer. The voice laughs, a gentle, pealing sound, like a chime. I see you are searching for something. I am after the North Gate spell, you reply. Is that so? That is forbidden knowledge. The voice laughs again. There is that noise again, like a palm slapping down. I see difficulty upon difficulty. Can you help? Another slap. It is like the sound of a card being turned from a deck. Tell me, she says. Speak a word and I will see. Speak a word and I will tell you what I see. Gate. I see a closed door. I see a whispered secret. I see a trap of fire. Magic. I see a dead end, a closed door. I see a wise man, but the card is reversed. This means death. I see a snake that eats its own tail. Sansus. I see a nest of rats. I see the trickster. I see the crooked mirror which shows a belief which is not to be believed. Suddenly, from the far end of the room, a single candle flame ignites. A shade has been lifted from the lamp, revealing a woman in a deep hood, seated at a star-shaped table. She is staring at the cards laid out in front of her. Approach her. You step forward, and she looks up sharply, eyes wide with fear. "Stay back," she cries. "You seek the crown of kings. You intend to conquer the old world. I seek to save it. Nothing will save it. The damage is done. It would be better if the crown were dropped into the sea. Remember this." "Who are you?" you ask, stepping forward once more. The woman looks up with deep eyes. A long scar runs across her face, from mouth to left ear. "I see things," she says, "things that not all wish to hear. I wish to hear." She nods. "You are wise." She turns another card, a movement that is almost involuntary. Then she looks up at you. "Remember this. The crown is not in care, but there are many who claim it is, and only one who is deceived. Only one truly believes." "Thank you." You thank her for her mysterious warning, but her attention is lost once more, taken by cracks in the flagstoned floor on which she sits. "The streets will burn," she murmurs. "The wolves must be turned around." You leave her to her dark vision. You step back out on the path to continue your journey. Huh. Hold on, can I? Sansus. I see a crooked mirror which shows belief which is not to be believed. Is that talking about slang? Because if I remember, slang is like a trickster god, right? So maybe we unlocked something with the shrine then of slang. Surely. Huh. Maybe. Walk on. The main road continues up a small rise between small fields. Since no one can leave the walls of Care, citizens must do their farming inside the walls as best they can. From the field to your right, you hear a groan. To your left, a narrow path winds away. Look for the noise. Half a dozen fat pigs are grubbing in the muck to the right. Just beyond them, a group of small creatures huddle around a fire pit, from which there drifts a mouth-watering smell. Look at the creatures. Care seems to be filled with creatures you can't place. Half one thing, half another. But from the way the strange creatures at the fire pit sit and talk, it seems that they do not see their own differences. One sees you, however, beckoning with a large clawed hand. You clamber over the fence and stride towards the creatures. With a few paces, the smell of cooking meat reaches your nostrils, and you see a large pig turning on a spit above the fire. The creature who waved to you has watched you approach. He grins with hooked teeth and cocks his head at you in greeting. A spell might be useful here. What spell, though? I cannot get into a fight. I'm gonna have to pray for healing, probably. Okay, hold on. Let's look here. Because if this is gonna be like another fight encounter, we're so dead. It's Jover if that's the case. We do have a medicinal potion. Oh right, we can use pop too, which is busted. I'm going to greet the creatures. Greetings. That smells good. It is, the creature agrees. We picked the best one to bite into. He waves at you to sit down. Then you understand his generosity. These are poachers. Sit with them. You take place in a circle around the fire. The creatures shuffle and sit. Sorry. The creatures shuffle and shift to. I actually can't read. I actually can't read. This is so sad, gamers. I'm going to blame the fact that my throat is extraordinarily dry. And not the fact that I like half read sentences and kind of like guesstimate what the next sentence is going to be. You take a place in the circle around the fire. The creatures shuffle and shift to make room for you. I'm going to ask about some pig. May I share your... Your pig, you ask. The poachers laugh. Not our pig, and there's plenty here. Help yourself. Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you. You reach over the fire and pull off a leg of the pig and devour it. The meat is succulent and rich. It is the best meal you've had in a long while. You thank the poachers, who shrug indifferently. Ask them about Care. I'm new to Care. You tell the gathered poachers as you bite into the pig meat. What can you tell me about the city? The creatures look at each other, entertained by your question. They suck their teeth and hum and her. Care is a big place, full of people pushing each other for power. He pulls a leg from the pig, making the meat tear and stretch to demonstrate. You want to avoid all of them, if you can. Ask them about the North Gate. I won't be staying here much longer. I'm headed for the North Gate, you tell them. Can you help me find my way? The lead poacher looks at you with interest. You're going out into the backlands. Why go there? I'm on a quest. You reply, trusting that these ruffians are lily enough not to be in the Archmage's pay. The lead poacher nods, accepting your answer. The North Gate is a hard thing to open. I've never heard anyone doing it. The Spell Lions? He nods seriously. From across the field, a woman begins to sing. The poachers smile and clap each other on the back. Sorcery is coming. You talk to her. Who's Sorcery? Sorcery is our treasure, the man says. Sorcery is how we know what we should do. You'll see. By now, the woman has reached the group. She greets the men with a kiss on either cheek. You notice she's carrying something carefully in a cloth. The man beside you beckons her to sit down beside him. This is our visitor. Greetings, Sorcery says. What can I help you with? Help me how? Did they not tell you? As she speaks, she squats down onto her heels and places a cloth on the ground. Unwrapping it slowly, she reveals an orb of crystal. Huh. You're a fortune teller. Sorcery sees all, one of the poachers calls out. For instance, which fields will be left unattended, says another with a hearty laugh. Ah. Interestingly. Or interesting. I'll hear my fortune. The men cheer, and you kneel down on the mud across from her. She holds out a palm. Cross my palm with silver. You withdraw a gold piece from her palm. Perhaps this'll do. She shakes her head. Silver is silver and gold are gold. I'm sorry, but magic is as magic is. Huh, I have nothing silver. Cersei smiles but shrugs. Picking up her orb, she moves over to one of the other men, who hands her something that looks like a silver tooth, then sits down to hear his fortune. She places her palm on the crystal and begins to hum. It doesn't look like any fortune-telling spell you have ever read about. Wait and watch. A minute passes, then Cersei's eyes flicker open. I see a long journey, she says to the man, to a distant land. I see danger and excitement. Huh. You keep your eyes fixed on her closed eyelids as she talks, trying to catch the reflection of any stars. I see more. You must watch for a dagger and a fish. I see I see a road paved with white stone leading to a place of great sadness. A blind man who will stab you in the back. She lifts her palm from the glass and smiles. Someone gets her some pork to eat. Offer to read her fortune. Let me try reading your fortune, you declare. Into a quiet that follows her reading. You tell everyone else's, but you must be curious about your own. Cersei stops eating to stare at you. There's a murmur of excitement in the group. This is a most unusual challenge. You? What do you know of fortune telling? I'm a sorcerer. She raises a thin, dark eyebrow in a cool surprise. Are you? You hold out a hand for the crystal orb. Not taking her eyes off of you, she puts it into your hand. She then sits down defiantly in front of you. Well then, tell me what you see for poor old Cersei. Sorry. Cersei, my bad. I've probably been mispronouncing that this whole time. Cersei, she declares, her eyes flashing with the challenge. You take a moment to collect your thoughts. The orb is pleasantly heavy in your palm. Is it tell? No, that's skullcap. Oh, I totally forgot the spell. Hold on. Far. Okay. Here we go. I did not click D, but okay. I did not click D. Good sir, what is going on? There we go. You cast the spell, placing your hands on the crystal orb. Your mind clears and a vision forms, but it is not of Cersei and her future, but of your own. You see yourself in a low stone shrine, somewhere here in the city of Care. A man in a long white robe stands at your elbow. He is speaking. What is the answer to the question that has never been asked? Oh, this is the slang shrine. You see your own mouth opening to reply. You concentrate as hard as you can, struggling to maintain the vision. Then, as it begins to slip, there is a touch on your hand and another presence joins you. Cersei, you breathe. In your vision, you see the man in the white robe bow his head, defeated at the word. The vision fades. Cersei is watching you intently, wanting to hear her fortune. The crowd around leans in eagerly. I see your fortune, you begin. I see you losing several friends. I see you divulging a secret. You continue. Cersei looks stunned by these words. She clearly believes you are a true psychic. A great and weighty decision seems to pass across her face. She looks to you for a moment to confirm it, then nods once more and turns to her friends. Please, be quiet, all of you, she says quietly. The stranger is right. I must make a confession. I'm not a fortune teller, Sorcery continues sadly. That's my secret. The poachers cannot believe their ears. One denies it, another claims to have known it all along. A third, who seems to have lost a lot of money on a bet once, becomes quite enraged and is held back by two more. Within a few moments, the whole group is rolling around in the mud, engaged in the most almighty punch-up. Break them up. It is a messy fight. You wade in, trying to hold the poachers apart and keep the men from throwing each other into the fire. But there's nothing you can do to keep them apart. A moment later, someone snatches the orb from your hands and cracks it over another man's head. You crawl out from under a pile of bodies. You hurry back to the safety of the road. My God. Well, rip the orb. That sucks. Okay. So then I guess we make our way up. Because I think that's all we needed up here, right? I think. Uphill. The road climbs between high fences and into open fields. A little further on, you see another rock face. Care climbs another level, but at the top of this one is a line of grand houses with ornamental roofs and pillared colonnades. Colonnades? I have no clue how that's pronounced. Pronounce it like a goddamn American. Colonnades. Let's go. Look at the buildings. This is where the richer creatures of Care live, looking down across the fields they own. You can imagine them, sipping iron wine on their balconies and watching the toil of the farm workers through a spyglass. But the more you look, the more you realize something is wrong. A tree grows from one roof. Another has slipped sideways into the yard of a neighboring house. These places are falling into ruin. You knew Care was poor, but this is worse than you'd heard. A junction. The road carries on, rising very slightly through a thin and meager fields. Scarecrows made of skeletons hang from posts on either side, their bones rattling in the breeze. There is no one about. With the hottest part of the day approaching, you reach a crossroad of sorts. To the right of the main road, a track lined with colored flags leads along the line of a cliff. A short distance from the road is a small hut built from mud bricks. Smoke rises out of the chimney, and a thick, rich smell wafts from its door. If it's a shop, it can't get much trade stuck out here in the middle of all these fields. Okay. I have no interest going this way. The artist quarter holds nothing for us. I think we fully explored this area. Save right here, which is the blacksmith shop. All right, let's enter the small hut. The door to the small hut is a little ajar. A pleasant smell drifts out, but you hear nothing from inside. Knock. You knock firmly on the door. A voice calls back, "Enter, friend, but be careful when you open the door." Slip through the doorway. You slip through the doorway as carefully as you can. Looking up, you notice a jar of some kind. Looking up, you notice a jar of some kind of liquid balanced precariously atop the drawer. The shop is a kitchen. There is a fire with a grate. Jesus Christ. The shop is a kitchen. There is a fire in the grate with a pot above it, which bubbles and smokes. On the walls hang herbs, vegetables, meats, and cooking equipment. But no matter how hard you look, you cannot seem to see the speaker. Looking again, you suddenly notice the strange creature standing beside the pot. He has a human torso, but his head is nothing but a green-colored jelly. He is hard to spot because of the vegetables hanging on the wall behind him. But you can tell he is a chef, as the long, sinuous tentacles coming from his head are scooping with ladles, stirring with spoons, and waving salt shakers and brandishing a cleaver. So, what do you want? Asks the creature. I can attack it? Let me talk to him. Greetings, creature. You begin. Look, the creature explains. Its tentacles go back to stirring, chopping, and mixing. I don't have all day. What do you want? I'd like to buy some food. All right, the creature replies, giving his cauldron a quick stir, but not taking his eyes off you. It's 5 gold pieces, and it's bristle beast kidney. I hope that's all right with you. That's too much. You tell him. He shrugs a waft of tentacles. Leave. You leave the hut. Ain't paying that much. All right, so I guess it's fair time. Yet again. You follow the wide path between the flags. After a few minutes, you notice something in the distance, a dark mass with bright colors shining through. It is not until you hear the sound when you realize what it is, a huge crowd of people gathered around a set of tents. It's a fair. People and creatures sprawl across paths, and several tents have been erected, their poles joined together by more flags. Approach. You ease your way into the edge of the gathered crowd. It looks all good-spirited and fun, and with so many people here, perhaps you will pick up useful information about the spell lines and city nobles. Listen. You mill through the crowd, keeping your ears open for anything interesting, but most people in this center of the field are arguing over where to go next, or lamenting how many gold pieces they have spent. You might do better to have a closer look at something. You walk to the north end of the fairground of Midway. The fair continues here. A road leads away uphill. The place is full of bluster and noise. Huge numbers of people crowd around a boxing ring, and more clap their hands and stamp as they watch a group of dancers. You cross the fairground to a wrestling ring. A ruffian inside is announcing the current challenge. People of Care, are you ready for a fight? In the white corner, we have our challenger, Anvar the Barbarian. The crowd cheers and whoops. Look over Anvar. Anvar is about half as tall as you are, with sheets of muscle on his arms and legs, but he's probably lighter than the ogre, which means he will have less momentum. And in the black corner, the brawling champion of Care, the one they call Skull Splitter, the ogre Kagu of Dadule. Look over Skull Splitter. The ogre looks as thick as any ogre you might meet, but he is made of solid muscle, his arms and legs like twisted bark of trees. Challenger, are you ready? Demands the ruffian. Anvar nods and beats his chest. Place a bet. You find a wager man looking for his enormous hat, to which odds and returns are pinned on bits of cloth. Feeling lucky, are you? He chuckles with evident glee. His palms are sweating, and you notice he carries flick blades inside of his sleeves. Place your money on me. What are the odds? 3-1 on the challenger, 1-3 on the champion. Well, what does that mean? For every coin you bet on the barbarian, you will get back 3 coins if he wins. But for every 3 coins you put on the ogre, you will only get 1 extra back if he wins. Barbarian. The maximum bet is 3 gold pieces. Yes. You hand over 3 gold pieces and the bookmaker makes a mark on his hat for the bet. Meanwhile, in the ring, the fight has begun. The barbarian in the white corner growls and beats his chest. The ogre raises his fists into the air and shakes them. Okay. I bet 3 coins on the barbarian. So let's cast a spell. We're going to depress the ogre. So what is that? Is it dud? No. It's dop, I think. No. I think it is dud. Wait, do we have any other ones? Dawes. Slowness. Okay. Sap is cause depression, yes. You ready the spell, and we cast it over the ogre. You cast the enchantment over the ogre, who begins to look thoroughly miserable. You have given Anvar a much-needed boost. The slow-moving ogre roars with rage and struggles forward against the barbarian, landing a mighty blow. Anvar is looking good. Yippee! You shout, "Finish him!" to the barbarian, who bellows with anger. The barbarian beats his chest and pounds the ogre heavily through the head. Anvar's agility is helping him win this fight, but then the ogre puts in a devastating sideswipe. The barbarian staggers suddenly. The crowd gasps, but then he picks himself up once more. Do we do a little prank? A little Dawes? Might as well. Yippee! You cast the spell over the ogre, and the balance of the fight begins to change. Suddenly, the ogre looks dizzy and slow. He cannot seem to grip his opponent properly. The ogre's lip is split and is bleeding. Anvar roars and thumps his opponent in the back. Anvar is winning. You holler at the barbarian, but it's not clear if it does any good. Growling and muttering, the ogre works into the barbarian, cracking his skull. Anvar is looking stronger than ever. You hang back and watch. Finally, it is over. With a single throw, Anvar the barbarian powers forward and hurls the skull splitter to the mat. The crowd goes wild. You find the bookkeeper and collect your winnings. You got lucky, sulks the bookkeeper. He hands over 12 gold pieces. Inside the ring, 12? Oh, yes. No, that's right. Inside the ring, the master of the fight raises the barbarian's fist in the air. Who challenges our champion? The prize is 10 gold pieces. I realize I did this the first, playthrough, but I'm still going to keep doing it because I don't care. I need money. I challenge him, you cry. All eyes turn to you. The fight master beams. We have a stranger taking the challenge, he declares. Let him through. The crowd parts and you are helped up into the ring. Under his breath, the fight master outlines the rules. Outlines the rules. A fair fight. No magic can pound your opponent until they can't stand. Ready? He asks. Fight! In the black corner, then, the ruffian announces, is Anvar. In the white corner, the ruffian turns to you and hisses, what should I call you? The Analander. The Analander, you declare, shouting in it so the crowd can hear. They catch the name and throw it up to the sky. The Analander, they cheer. The crowd begins to furiously place bets. You can hear them discussing your relative merits. He looks feeble. He looks like a maniac to me. Ready your fists. The barbarian raises his fists in the air and roars. The crowd roars in return. The bell rings and you charge forward, bellowing, for Analand! Anvar charges straight back at you. You meet in a heavy collision of bodies, and everyone in the crowd is surprised when Anvar falls back onto the mat, and you emerge still standing. You strike again, moving swiftly. You aim for his midriff. The barbarian blocks your blow. He beats his huge chest and roars, "Block!" You drop into a defensive crouch. Your suspicion is well founded. A moment later, the barbarian stops forward with all of his weight, knocking you back across the ring. We're going to block again. All right, cool. You stay low. The barbarian peers at you in return through his floppy fringe. He steps backwards across the ring, putting space between you. Pulverize! Readying a forceful blow, you hurtle forwards as the barbarian swings for your head. Anvar staggers suddenly, crashing into the ropes at the side of the ring. A gasp goes up from the crowd. The crowd are spurring on Anvar. "Take him down," someone calls. Block. You drop defensively. Anvar pummels you with heavy fists, but you block one, dodge the next, and escape mostly unharmed. Block again. He's going to attack big boy time this time. You keep down. The barbarian makes a grunting noise, which is perhaps supposed to be a threat, but stays back. Boop. Preparing a heavy swing, you charge for your opponent as the barbarian stomps and batters the ground. Anvar grunts with frustration as he turns about twice and hits the mat. For a moment, you even think he might just stay down. But, shaking his stupid head, he picks himself up to his feet once more. He batters at his broad, rippling head and bellows. You drop your weight and watch Anvar closely. You escape most of the thumping fist. The barbarian moves away towards the other corner. Moving quickly, you go for a lunge to his temple. Anvar staggers back, gasping, his face a mess of blood and bruises. Summoning the last ounce of strength in your arms, you ready a final knockout punch that sends him back across the mat and out of the ring. Yippee! You stagger from the ring, the crowd cheering for you, and collect your winnings. The fair spreads out all around you, a collection of booths and rings and tents and stalls. Hawkers announce the various attractions at the top of their lungs. The general atmosphere is cheerful, with just a hint of violence. Very interesting. I think the musicians is where I got pickpocketed last time, so we're not going to go up there. You push your way through the crowd to the very heart of the fair and look at the attractions. No, it's the Dancing Bear is where we got pickpocketed. You walk to the south end of the fairground midway. What's in the small tent again? You approach the small tent. By the door, a young elven woman is collecting an entrance fee. 1 gold piece, she declares, winking at you. What's inside? Marco the Amuser, she replies, smiling and winking. Perhaps there is something wrong with her other eye. He's very funny. 1 gold piece. Huh? No. No offense intended, you reply politely and step away into the fair. From across the field comes a murmur of excitement. Then, quite suddenly, a small tornado lifts a tent sharply up and into the air and away. You approach a boy standing by a barrel, looking sheepish. What are you selling? The boy points to his barrel but doesn't answer. Look in the barrel. You peer into the barrel. It's full of small, hard apples. Most are blackened by disease or else shot through with maggot holes. How much is an apple? You ask, despite the fact it is hard to imagine anyone paying for one. The boy holds up a single finger with one hand and 5 fingers for the others. 1 gold piece for 5 apples? The boy nods. I'll buy some. You hand over a gold piece, and the boy supplies you with 5 apples. In your hands, you feel that they are rock solid, hardened by some disease into stones. The boy bows in his head and thanks and gestures behind him. A girl, possibly a sister, pops up from behind another barrel and pulls a face at you. You stick your tongue out in return. The girl giggles and dodges behind another barrel. The boy looks up at you expectantly. The girl peeks up again. Throw something at the child. You lob one of your apples at the girl, but she dives to one side and misses. The boy claps his hand. Throw another apple. You ready your second apple and wait for the girl to show herself. As soon as she pops up, you throw, but your aim is off. You miss by a finger's breadth or so. The girl giggles, then ducks away out of sight. The girl sticks out her arms from one side, then quietly ducks. Try another shot. You try another shot, but your aim is terrible. Perhaps if you'd spend more time practicing your swords play and physical skills and less learning book magic, your arm would be better. You hand back your remaining blackened apples to the boy. He grabs the apple and throws them at his sister, and you walk back to the midway. From somewhere nearby, you catch a glimpse of a shadowy figure disappearing behind a tent. Something about the way it moves is familiar. You push forward into the crowd and follow the dark figure into a narrow gap. Cautiously, you enter the narrow space, and suddenly there is a hand at your throat. I will kill you, breathes a voice you recognize. Laugh with pleasure. It's Flanker, an assassin whose life you spared before you reached Torapani. Greetings, you declare enthusiastically. Flanker nods, but does not smile. But he seems pleased to see you. Ah, my friend and enemy. I see, like myself, you also enjoy the fun of the Festival of Thieves, but you look in poor shape. Have others been treating you more roughly than I was able to? How have you fared in care? Well, so far. Indeed, so far, Flanker laughs. Quite so, as you have not had to face the portal traps. They will take your smile and move it to your throat, as we assassins say. I know about the portal traps. They are easily avoided. Is that so? Well then, perhaps I have underestimated you yet again. He pauses to glance around him, as if he's waiting for something. But, if so, he does not see it. I have a few minutes, he says. Tell me of your quest. How goes it? The journey is long, but I am unbowed. Good, he nods. I'm glad you are still no coward. To be defeated is a shame, but to be defeated by a creature without a spine is a torture. Yeah. I need to know the order of the spell lines. Flanker nods. I'm told Sansis did not entrust any of his nobles. I forgot what voice I was doing for Flanker. I think it was like a deep, raspy voice. So I'm gonna try to roll with that. I am told Sansis does not. Gee, that's a bad voice. That's not a good voice. I'm just gonna read it normally. I'll review the VOD later, and we'll stick with it if Flanker shows up in the third part. I'm told Sansis did not entrust any of his nobles with the knowledge of their correct order. It was his final failsafe, but that does not mean it is not known. You might appeal to one of the gods to learn. Which god? Slang is not strong enough for such knowledge, I think. Though, you could try a shrine. Between the well and docks, Flanker replies, somewhat carelessly. Otherwise, Korga would know, but his temple is by the north gate. He nods, finally. I must be away. Perhaps I will see you again later. I will be drinking at the Wayfarer's Rest tonight in the docks. Join me, if you will. You nod to Flanker and return to the main throng of the fair. From across the field, a dancing bear seems to have run amok. Certainly, The crowd around the dwarf is shouting and fighting. The event seems to be closed. So I could slip out to the fair, go down here, and then make a loop back up. But I'm going to go back to the midway. You walk back to the middle of the fairground and look around. We're going to go all the way up. Fair continues and a road leads away uphill. Yippee. Okay. Yes, we're making our way up to Slang. Then we're going to go to the Wayfarer's Rest. But before that, I really need to go to the bathroom. So let me just like... Hold on. Do I have an intermission? I do. Yippee! Australopithecus moment. Lamel. When you're done, can you come upstairs? Okay, gamers. That was longer than expected because I had to order food. Oh my god, hey. You're a dumbass. I had to put back stream because you forgot to deal with laundry. Yeah, I saw that you went live and I'm like, dude, let's fucking go. But that's sad. Oof. I mean, hey. You know, especially if you don't already have a schedule set, you're chilling, bro. You're chilling. Okay, hold on. Where do we leave here? Is this actually going to pick up? Come on. Okay, there we go. You push your way through the crowd following a road uphill. The party is getting wilder, and you would do well here. Or, sorry, and you would do well to be away from here before things get out of hand. At the far edge of the fair, the litter has left a tide on the a tide mark on the grass. I think I saw the notification on my phone. Yeah, 7 minutes ago. Maybe it was just notification of a broadcast. Let me see. This gives me time for my brain to like function properly. Ah, no, you're chilling. You're chilling. You're chilling. You're chilling. It just says the event will begin in an hour. Yeah. It is, dude. You're chilling. You're chilling. Yeah, it's kind of bizarre. Kind of bizarre. You push your way through the crowd, following the road uphill. The party is getting wilder, and you would do well to be away from here before things get out of hand. At the far edge of the fair, the litter has left a tide mark on the grass. There is one last small tent here, probably a ticket booth, that has been ignored by the crowds of care. We went in here before. I'm not going to go in again. We're just going to follow the road up. You are back by the bathhouse on the edge of the fair. So we could follow the cliff road and kind of wind our way up. We got to go here. But I'm more curious about the bathhouse, honestly. Since we weren't able to go in here initially. You step into the cool of the bathhouse. It is a wide building of marbled tiles and a sweet smell of pine and fresh wood. Gentle noises echo and murmur around the walls. A creature by the front desk greets you with a smile. "Afternoon, sir," it purrs. "The water is cool and fresh today. A swim costs 4 gold pieces." I remember why we didn't do this, because that's really expensive for that. Yeah, no, and I saw that, like, okay, it just leads from the river, so it's nasty water. All right, uphill we go. The road twists and turns up the rise until you emerge onto a wider road in the edge of a dense slum. From inside, down a street to the left, you can hear the very faint sound of singing. The smell of rotting fish begins to fill the air. You must be close to the docks. Okay. We can go left and up. Don't know if we'll run into anything useful here, though. I just say fuck it, we go up here to the Shrine of Slang, honestly. Look around. There are 2 or 3 ships moored at night. We've read this like 2 or 3 times. Right. Wayfarers rest in the meat cleaver. There's nothing obvious about the difference of the two. We're going to go to the Shrine of Slang first. Remembering the shrine is near the docks, you search the side streets until you see a promising low-looking building. A promising-looking low building. You step into the doorway of the shrine at the same time as a woman and her child are leaving. "He really is a holy man, mother," the little one is saying. Layson's lame brother answered his question, and he ran off the stage. The mother nods, and the pair leave. Interesting. Step inside. The shrine is an old stone building, garnishingly decorated with hanging cloths and thick candles that fill the air with the smell of grease and tar. At the far end, on a low platform, stands a hooded figure in a white robe who is talking to the assembled crowd. The image looks remarkably familiar, as though you have seen this almost exact scene before, but you cannot place it. We have seen this exact same scene before. We saw it in the vision. Does anyone else wish to take the test of slang, the god of malice? The priest calls out. Wait a moment. What was that name? Didn't you meet someone called Slang? The young liar. Of course. The young man you met on the street who always lied. Was that really the god of malice, or was his name simply another lie? The murmur goes around the crowd. People are nervous but excited. You nudge someone next to you. What is the challenge? You ask. It is the test of slang, the woman replies in a whisper. He grants you a wish if you answer him correctly. He grants you a wish if you answer him correctly, but you have to worship him, or else that question he asks is impossible. He shudders. She shudders and grins. They don't call him the god of malice for nothing. Are your hearts so cold? Taunts the priest. Does no one here want anything? Is no one in dire, deadly need of a god's aid? Just real quick. Gonna pray for healing. I'm gonna take the challenge. You raise your hand and step forward. I will take your challenge. A stranger, calls the priest with glee. Welcome him, please. To the platform. The crowd whimper and murmur as you make your way to the platform. Welcome, stranger, the priest declares, helping you up. Are you ready to take the challenge, knowing full well that very few succeed? I am. The crowd cheer at your response. Then know this. Slang is not a punishing god, but he is malicious. He does not wish for you to fail, but should you fail, he wishes that you know that it was all your own fault. The priest continues. Our practice is that you may choose which question to answer. But know this, one is impossible while the other is easy. And to answer the easy question, you must give up something you hold most dear. The crowd are watching in expectant silence. It is time for you to choose. The impossible question. I choose the impossible question. The crowd wait expectantly. Then the priest closed his eyes and intones, what is the answer to the question that has never been asked? Sorcery. There's a moment's pause as the priest screws up his eyes. What is the result? The priest nods once, slowly. That's correct, he murmurs. The question that has never been answered in the 3,000 years since this site was first made holy to slang. The question that has been passed on from one priest to the next. I never thought I would be the one to hear it spoken, because I do not understand it, and I do not know the question. He turns to you and bows his head once. You are truly blessed. Please, what is your wish? Money, 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 money. Money would be so cool. But we don't know the order of the spell lines. We'll probably rely on Korga for that. What could I do? My God. Oh my God. Dude, which do I choose? Like, of course, money's the meme one. But we know that we don't know the order of the spell lines, right? Huh. Hmm. So, okay, all right. We don't know the order of the spell line. I want money, though. Money. I wish to be rich beyond my imagination. The priest nods and closes his eyes and whispers to his god with an expectant silence settles over the room. The priest reopens his eyes. It is done. I feel no different. You will be rich, the priest replies, but I cannot tell you when. All right. You walk away into the street as the crowd watching you as you go. Hold on. I'm using like my last rewind here. Enter the shrine. Step inside. Yes, 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 yes. The young liar. Ask someone about the challenge. Take the challenge. Continue. Boop. Tell me the North Gate spell. Who is Vic? Right, because we haven't run into Vic, like, at all. Tell me the order of the spell lines. And it's going to be like, oh, well, you'll know it eventually. We know Korga can give us this. Maybe. That's what it's been hinted at. So long as we don't kill anyone, Korga should be fine. Tell me the Northgate spell. The priest closes his eyes and summons his god. Only one noble of care was a follower of slang, he intones. Moldus, the second noble, whose spell line I sense you already know. To learn the other line, you must travel to the necropolis where Shinva is buried, but not dead. But beware, his tomb is guarded by a creature of death who will rule the darkness, and even in light can only be defeated by weapons of pure silver. You reach out, the crowd reach out to touch your tunic as you make your way out the door. Clearly not many survive the challenge of slaying. Back on the street, it is night. You must find somewhere to rest. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right. We already knew all that. God damn, dude. I'm reverting. I don't even care. I don't even care. We're reverting. I don't even care that we've exceeded our number of rewinds. That's horse shit. We're going with money again. Okay. You return to the docks. You still need to find somewhere to stay for the night. Okay, Wayfarer's Rest. We'll drink with Flanker. Oh, yeah, we've been through this again. I'll play you. Splendid. He clears space on the table, moving several glasses of beer out the way. Or shall ya ha it done? 4 gold pieces on him. You're on. The sailor counts out 5 dice each and takes his first bid. I need directions to the North Gate. Can you help? It's going to be the best play here. Got 2 3s. Let me do 1 3. So I gauge what he has. Well, do I cannot read that. Do I look like a Korean? All Koreans look different to me. 1 4. We know it's at least 2. Humph. No, no, yeah. Jesus Christ. You can always tell a Korean if you know the way to look. Okay, I see. Bid 3 4s. One. Oh, well, that'd get a high. Jesus Christ. think we've gone too far. I'm not even going to try to read the sailor's dialogue. I cannot understand this man. I'm... Oi, a bit. Jesus Christ, this man. Let me see. Always one. It's possible. I'm going to do 2 3s. Oh, I can't. Wait, 4 2s. 4 2s. I only have 1 2. He said 2 2s initially. I'm going to do 5 2s. Croix. What was that? It's too much. Okay, he's not going to help me with directions, man. He definitely isn't. 3 4s. We'll do 2 4s. Cool. Und ja no something. Nobles for a land wana. What? What is this man saying? It's not 5. I don't believe it. It's 5? What? This is horse water. You're asking me. I'd say them nobles left town. So real, man. So real. 4 4s. Let me see. 5 4s. Curious. Call. I need directions to the north gate. Can you help? Shit. It's that Sansan going It's that Sans S is going rogue. That's the worry, you see. So one of his 2. So I'm going to say 2 3s. I was going to say 3 3s. Nah, not gambling. I mean, I'm always on my gambling arc, dude. Isn't even an arc at this point. It's literally just a way of life. I'm so good at gambling. The fool! He has fallen right into my trap. I win 8 gold pieces. Wait, sailor hands over 4 gold pieces. Right. I retain my 8. Another one. Yes, give me more money. You drunk sailor. I love how I just generate money this way. This is wonderful. I love this. 3 1s. Big boy money. Big boy money. I should have done 4. It was very likely that he also has. He's got 3 4s. I have 1 4. 4 is reasonable. 4 4s. 5 4s. Still within the realm of possibility. I'll call it though. Hoim. Oi bit. This is just a pirate, Murph, basically. Like, I've been trying to decode what this man has been saying. I can't do it. I can't do it. Man speaks in pirate tongue, and I cannot decode it. It is so sad. 1 3. I've got 2 3s. 3 3s, actually. Balls to the wall, 4 3s, right off the bat. Boom. You fool. You have fallen right into my trap yet again. Another one. Come on, sailor. Put more money on the line. You're getting a bit of it? Yeah, same. I can, like, decode maybe 1 or 2 of the times he talks. But I'm about to play more dice with Flanker, but for my life instead of, you know, for coin. I have to place a bet first. 2 4s, 1 3. 1 2 3 and 4. Okay. I'm gonna do 3 4s. He's got 3 dice. It's likely that he's probably got that. He might call, though. Shit. I'm about to lose a die. That sucks. Okay. Like this. I have no clue what he is saying whatsoever. Weya oiskin. Bat loins, anyway. What? I know, right? I need to train my brain with pirate language in Minecraft. It's the only way to play. That might be the bit for the next SMP I play on, is I'm just a pirate with pirate language on. It'd be really funny. And I go and, like, steal shit from people's bases. Why are you asking about loins anyway? I don't know. Maybe he wants to bang. You never know. You never know. 4 3s. You are a fool. You are a fool. I'm calling that. Roll it again. Best thing I can do is 2 2s. Three, 2. He's making this easy, bro. Only 1 3. Bro. Alright. About to win some more coin. Hoim. I'll say 1 3. I've got a 3. I can do 2 3s. Then he's trapped. 3 3s. You fool, you fool. You take another 4 gold pieces. The sailor shrugs and laughs. That's my... That's my claim that. What? Oh, that's my coin that. Something like that. He takes his dice and pockets them. Then sips his beer very slowly indeed. You get up to your feet. Don't go far, murmurs the woman with the eye patch, smiling. Your eyes roam around the busy room and light on a shadowy figure in one corner. Wait. Your eyes roam around the busy room and light on a shadowy figure in one corner. Flanker. Okay. It's nice to see I'm not reading that incorrectly and some of these lines are just goofy. Alright, more dice. You sit over by the assassin. There you are again, he declares with pleasure. He seems more relaxed than earlier. Perhaps he has completed whatever mission he was here to perform. But tell me, friend, he murmurs, do you play dice? Yes. Flanker's smiles broaden. From a hidden pouch beneath his tunic, he pulls a set of dice and pushes them halfway across the table to you. You take out the dice. What's the stake? Let me propose a modest wager. If you win, I will help you with your quest. But if I win, my obligation to you is at an end. Should we meet again, I will have the freedom to cleave your neck from your shoulders. Do you agree? Very well. Flanker counts out 5 dice each and takes first bid. So what are you doing in care, my friend? 3 threes. I'm going to do 2 threes to start. Three twos. Sorry, 3 ones. No, my friend. Do not think I will not... Sorry. Do not think you will not put me off my game with your conversation. 3 twos. I know I have 1 2, so 4 twos is reasonable. But I'm going to try 4 ones. Shit. Luckily, your words cannot interrupt the clarity Sindla grants me. Oh, let's go, let's go. All right, roll dice again. I see. Here. 2 twos. I have no twos. I can do 3 ones. Three twos. A reputation once injured cannot be salved. Every humiliation is a scar one carries to the grave. It's kind of edgy, Flanker. Why you say that, man? 3 twos. I posted 3 threes. I'm gonna do 4. Sorry, I posted 3 ones. I'm gonna do 4 ones. He's gonna call, probably. Yes, sir. Let's go. My God. Alrighty. I'd rather not sit in silence as we play. I got 2 threes, 2 4s. Do 1 3. 1 4. I know, right? Dude, I mean, like, look at him, man. When the chatter is your only hope of victory, I am not surprised. Not surprised that I would rather sit with conversation. 1 4. We can boast 3 4s and have a reasonable defense against a call. 4 4s. Kind of unlikely. I'm going to call on that. Yippee. I see. Let me see. 1 3. I've got 2 3s. I'm going to do 2 1s, though. So, I'll raise that. 2 4s, 3 4s. Is a reasonable. Is he going to call? 4 4s. Extraordinarily unlikely for him. Only 3 4s. Yippee! Homie looks like a right-wing commentary YouTube who doesn't want to reveal his identity out of the fear of his own words' effect on people. Dude, I'm not sure. I feel like he's closer to like BDSM almost. Just a little bit, you know? Like it kind of seems like that tight leather look, you know? That's what I'm getting. Like the runes and everything too. I don't know. That's like some roleplay shit. It seems to me that this city is not suiting you. 2 threes. We could start that. Start it high. He's only got 1 left. Actually, I'm just going to do 1 3, so he shows his hand. 2 1s. Now he's got me in a pickle. Oh, I can do 2 threes. Yippee. 3 1s. I call that. But, like, look how proudly he shows off the symbol on his arm that contains a skull. I didn't see that as a skull. I saw that as, like, a face. Like, it's, like, supposed to be a personification of the sun or something. You know? Okay, yippee! He helps me in my quest now. You take his last die away, winning the game. Flanker nods deeply. Sindla, preserve me. I have lost to you again. Come with me. I will take you to the council. Excuse me, the council? The leaders of Care are madmen and pirates, but not fools. They might be persuaded to see the sense of your mission, he replies. Especially if you have no gold to cover... Especially if you have the gold to cover their pockets. Shall we go? Where's the council? It's hard to find. It is the tallest building in Care, but most of its height is built underground. So, from the street it looks just like another dwelling place. But I know where it is. Let's go, dude. Excellent, Flanker beams. Finishes his beer, then gestures to the door. Follow me. Let's go! You follow Flanker across the top of the dock. He moves fast like a fleeting shadow, but somehow contrives to never disappear from your sight. He does not speak, and your attempts at conversation are met with immediate silence. Finally, you arrive outside an ordinary-looking building. This is it, he declares. Wait here, and I will go inside. He disappears through the door. The house in which Flanker has just gone in... The house into which Flanker has gone is just that, surely. The windows are thick bottle glass, and the door is tarred wood, studded with rivets and painted black. The roof, only a single story up, is overgrown with weeds. Other identical dwellings stand either side. Still nothing. The building in front of you does not seem like any council chamber. Perhaps this is a trap. You peer through one of the windows, but the glass is so thick and heavily streaked on the inside with candle grease that you cannot make anything out. We're going to wait. You wait, Flanker does not appear. Minutes pass. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to click that. I meant to click wait again. Okay. We wait thrice, and then we go in. Time passes. In the distance, you hear the sound of cartwheels rattling down the cobbles from the dock. They are quickly lost in the bustle of Lower Care. Ignoring Flanker's instructions, you try the door. It is unlocked. You are in a wide room. Chairs line the walls, but there's no other furniture. If this is someone's house, then it has been meticulously robbed. But if not, You cannot see what function it does serve, but it cannot be abandoned. A fire in the hearth blazes out heat. There's no sign of flanker anywhere, but there are also no other doors. Look at the fire. You go over to the fire to warm your hands. It seems normal enough and is hot enough to roast a pig. A voice booms out from nowhere. Please, it says, be seated. All right, sir, I'm sitting down. You choose a seat close to the fire and sit down. Something strange happens the moment you take your weight off your feet. It is as though the far wall no longer exists. In its place, a long hallway lined with cloth banners and torches on brass poles. 2 guards stand halfway down the hallway, and between them you see flanker in deep conversation. You stand to approach. The wall remains invisible. It seems that you are at the front of the queue to approach the council. You make your way into the inner hall. Flanker seems to be conferring with both the guards, but they are not moving aside and continue to block his way along the corridor. Clearly, he is hoping to gain you an audience with the nobles, but he is not managing to succeed. I'm sorry, the first guard says. The council is in session and cannot be disturbed. Flanker is shaking his head. That is incorrect, as you well know. I'm afraid the council's in session, the guard repeats, louder now. Then I need to see them, you declare firmly. No one sees the council when they are in session, the guard replies primly. All right. We're going to do, what is it? It's dud. We did this last time we were here. It works. And we're good. This is the main council chamber of care, a wide room with a domed roof supported by tall pillars, ornately carved with monsters, serpents, and instruments of torture. At the center, 12 throne-like seats are arranged in a circle, with one on a raised dais, presumably the seat of the first noble. All are empty. A chalk circle has been drawn just inside the ring of thrones. Flanker frowns. This is not right, he muses. You make a slow circle of the chairs. Flanker is doing likewise in the other direction. No one here, he remarks. No secret doors, no hidden passages. You notice the chairs have names on their backs. Look at the names. The throne of the first noble has the name Sansus embossed in a gold leaf on its back. The names on the others are smaller and fashioned from plain iron. Molus, Tiffin, Lorag, Shinva, Zirin, and Theta. It would seem that none of the chairs have been sat in for a very long time. I'm going to sit in the throne. You walk back to the first noble's chair and lower yourself down, crossing your legs and surveying the room. Flanker looks up his forensic investigations of the chalk circle with amusement. From your seat, you observe the chalk circle. It appears to be just what it seems, a circle inscribed on the stone floor of the room. The only remarkable thing about it is how perfect it is. It is a flawless curve. Rather too well drawn, Flanker says, echoing your thoughts. That makes me suspicious. It's a portal trap, so we're not going to do that. There's nothing here. This has been a waste of time, you remark to Flanker. The assassin shakes his head. Perhaps. I've learned something. He points to the circle on the floor. Do you see that? I think it's a portal trap. I know about portal traps already. Good, Flanker replies. But how is there one here? The first noble controls the portal traps. Why would he place one inside of his own council chamber? It makes no sense. Something very untoward is occurring in the city, and I must find out what. He sweeps towards the door. Together you head out of the chamber. The guard holding up the pouch of money tries to stop you. About this bag, but you move faster. The walls seal up behind you. The road climbs further, looping back on itself as it climbs. Several little alleys disappear off between the homes, buildings on either side. This area of town is a spider's web that would be easy to lose oneself in. You pass a shop with a brass sign above its door, Metal Workers Guild. However, it seems to be closed for the night. You return to the docks. You're running out of options. I'm going to sleep in the alley. Inns are cheerful places, however, with roaring fires. Finding an alley around the back of one, you are close enough to enjoy a little heat and the sound of human company. You curl up in a corner with your pack below your head and close your eyes. Today has been a successful day, and you've made progress towards learning the lines of the Northgate spell. In the middle of the night, you wake suddenly. There are footsteps nearby. Stay hidden. You stay low, breathing quiet, hoping whoever is there will mistake you for a pile of rags. The footsteps stop. You hear a quiet murmuring voice, although you cannot make out the words. Then you hear a sniffing sound. Whoever it is, they have a dog with them. We're going to do exactly what we did last time as well. Wall. Yippee. Oh, I don't have 3 stamina. Hold on. Gorilla, heal me. Okay. Alright, thinking quickly, you cast a spell, throwing up an invisible wall across the alleyway, separating the dog from you. It creeps forward, then strikes your barrier and begins to howl. The owner curses. Stupid creature, he mutters in the dark. Trust my luck to get stuck with the dumb one. Only good for Rowan. Come on, he whistles. The hound turns about slowly, then creeps away from the alley. Still, you will not be able to sleep any longer. You sit up and watch the full moon fall. Watch the moon fall and the dawn begin to break. Okay. Next morning. All right. Head for the bridge. We're going to buy breakfast. Buy some. Yippee. Wait. Wait. Continue. Cross the bridge. Other side. Okay, start moving. We've been here like thrice over. Here we can be graceful. You seem distraught. The moneylenders have not been generous. When are they ever generous? But today they've been cruel. No matter. I should not have expected different. You do not look like a Karian to me. I'm new to care. Is that so? Then maybe you'll need a guide. That'd be useful. She smiles, first true smile, for a fee. I need to find an undead creature. She nods. In the necropolis there are lots of dead bodies, but it might take a long time to search them all. She nods. How much do you charge? 4 gold pieces. Pay her. Tell me your name. Before we begin, tell me your name. You can call me Mish. She nods. Sorry, I'm like rushing through because I'm about to eat. And we've kind of already done all these encounters. The alley gets wider, passing a long building on the left, which seems to be full of children. An orphanage. We can't... I'm going to ignore him, and we're going to keep moving. Ask my guide about the monument. The woman shrugs. You should look for yourself. Let's keep moving. Through here. She... waving towards an arch on the far side of the square. Are you sure? Of course I'm sure. Do you want to find this undead noble? Or don't you? Follow her. You follow Mish between the narrow markets until you reach a fork. On the left, the road continues. Towards some kind of bustling market. To it on the right is a shorter street. In the center of the fork is a bronze statue. It's on its pedestal once more. Oh my, Mish breathes. Look how much gold there is. She steps towards the statue. Look down the short street. Gambling halls of Valada. Several seedy creatures. Look at the statue. The statue is of a giant brute wielding a club. At its feet is a large pot filled with gold pieces. This one must be one of Care's many gods. With the pot intended for worshippers to make offerings, although none of the passing creatures seem to be throwing any in. Mish's eyes have turned to saucer plates at the sight of the money. Ask her about the statue. What is this statue? You ask your guide. I have no idea, she replies nervously. I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it. Let's go on. Of course, she says, but you can see that she's looking at the pot of gold. She begins to head down the road to the right. This is the way to the undead noble. Follow her. You follow her, but at the last possible moment, she dives to one side and grabs an armful of gold from the bowl of the statue's feet. That'll teach those money lenders not to pay out, she cries, stuffing 20 gold pieces into her pockets. From somewhere from behind her, there's a noise like thunder, something moving to life. Quickly put the money back. It's a trap. She stares at you mad. Of course it's a trap. Why do you think I'd led you here? With that, she sticks a single gold piece of money into your pouch. The statue comes for the last person to thieve. She breathes. Good luck, you'll need it. Listen. It's got a weak spot on one of the legs, she calls. And this... And to find this undead noble, you will need to go to the rich tombs in the necropolis and look for Shiva's mausoleum. She blows you a kiss, then rushes away. You don't have time to be angry. Looking up, you see the statue's right arm sweeping down towards you. Leap left. You jump to the left, straight into the path of the club, which sends you flying backwards. We can get 8 gold pieces. Draw a sword. Continue. Oh, wait, what? Right. Oh, it doesn't even have the gold in it anymore? That's so sad. Okay. Down. You follow the road to a wide open space laid out for a market. There are several stalls, all selling the same good, their traders arguing loudly over who has the cheapest or best quality. Naturally. Oh, I could browse some useful gear. We still do need something to light up the way. You browse around stalls selling useful gear and items for travelers, and come across one thing that might be useful. A tinderbox for lighting fires, although it will not work without tinder. The second is a bottle of snake bite antidote. Tinderboxes cost 2 gold each, antidote 3. Buy the antidote. Browse magic items. You scour the market for something that might be useful to you in magic, but find nothing except for one jeweler's stand, which among a very Sorry. You scour the market for items that might be useful to you in magic, but find nothing except for one jeweler's stand in which, in amongst a lot of very expensive and overpriced jewelry, is offering a sun jewel for sale at the exorbitant price of 15 gold pieces. Haggle. You put the gem down on the table. A neat piece, but it's a fake. The jeweler laughs softly. It's most certainly not fake, he replies. But if you cannot see that, then I do not think you're the correct buyer for this piece. You take one look at the lavish... You take one last look at the sun jewel, sigh, and leave it. Ooh. We're rewinding. Haggle. In lower care, these cost 10. You remark as casually as you can. The jeweler narrows his eyes, but you've clearly caught his attention. I'm certain you'll have trouble selling that particular piece, he says. Tell me, what is the name of the jeweler offering this price? Hifi. Never heard of her. Goddamn. High fee? That's funny. I'm leaving it. God damn it, dude. Let's look at weapons. You take a turn at the armorer's stall. Most of what is on sale is poor quality or weaker than the blade you already carry, but something catches your eye. A fine bow with a quiver of silver-tipped arrows. I'm not going to sell the legendary sword. Why would I ever do that? Can I sell my dogshit sword? I'm going to browse provisions. Browsing the stalls, you find food that is reasonably expensive, with the cheapest provision being sold at 3 gold pieces each. One trader is also selling a wrapped package of 6 meals worth 15 gold pieces, but that's probably more than you'd want to spend. 6 meals, 15 gold pieces. I just don't know when I'm going to eat again. And I don't have any rations save the blimberry. If I spend this money here, I should be good. I'll buy the 6 meals. Beyond the wall is a street of tall iron-fenced houses. You are entering a rich district, built in relative safety close to a wall, on the highest point of land in the city. Few creatures live here, and it would seem that beggars are not tolerated. The streets are empty, but for the first time, clean. You pass a wall with a pulley attachment built above it, but no rope. Walk on. You pass the well and catch a brief snippet of song drifting up from the well shaft, but you can't quite make out the words. Go and listen. You go over to the well and listen. A woman's voice is singing from somewhere deep in the earth. You can make out the words when you lean over the well shaft. My dear, your fortune can be told if you will cross my palm with gold. Keep listening. You wait to see if the voice will sing any further, but there's only a gentle humming, perhaps the sound of lapping water. Throw a gold piece down the well. You flick down a gold piece in the well, and for several seconds before, and wait several seconds before you hear the plop as it hits the water. The voice sings out again. Throw down one more coin for me, 2 wishes I will grant for thee. I'm gonna dud. I don't even care. You cast the spell on creating a mountain of golden treasure, which you tip into the well piece by piece. The voice begins to sing deliriously, giddily with excitement and wealth. After a few minutes, a hatch opens to the side of the well house, which you had not noticed before. A tiny gnome clambers out, reaches down into the well, unclips a rope from the side and attaches it to a pulley, then begins hauling up the bucket. Ask him what he's doing. The gnome does not appear to notice you. It seems that he is blind and maybe deaf as well. He continues to wind up the pulley until the bucket reaches the surface, and inside the water has drained away through holes at the base, but there is a gold piece. The gnome tips these into the pouch. Grab the pouch. You reach down to snatch the pouch from the gnome, who almost jumps out of his skin, then scarpers for cover in the house once more. In the pouch, you find your gold piece, along with a giant's tooth that someone must have thrown in by mistake. Yippee! You've reached a wide, desolate area, fenced by an overgrown iron railing. Inside, tall yew trees reach up to twice the height of the city wall beyond. This is the necropolis, the city of the dead, for those who pass away in care with enough money to ensure their bodies are not simply tossed into the water. The road to the north gate passes straight through and offers no way around. Keep going. The dead do not frighten you. I have no way to light. That's the only thing. I still have no way to light the inside of that place. I can sun drool, but that's about it. The hubbub of upper care. Or after the hubbub of upper care, the necropolis has a silence which is almost deafening. Look around. Either side, listing gravestones crawl with small creatures. No flowers grow here. It's like the bodies give off poison as they rot. Everything here is dead, and yet this place is neither empty nor still. Wind whistles between the tall trees. The sun is setting behind the wall. Look around the gravestones. Newer tombs. Okay, we might use another rewind here. I'll take the bracelet. Okay. Shiva's mausoleum. Here rests Lord Shiva, 5th noble of care. In its center is the silver sword, which also hangs in your belt. Okay. How long have we been streaming for? 4 hours? Okay. We need to... I think I need the sun jewel. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop for right now. I'll come back streaming tomorrow, maybe, depending on if certain plans go a certain way. I have no clue. We'll see. But for right now, I'm gonna cease, but we'll be continuing very, very soon. All right. I'll catch y'all later. See ya.